You're about to watch another exciting episode of the Dungeon Run, but did you know that you can actually be part of the adventure? Tune in live on Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and you can make your voice heard and help determine the fate of our adventurers. Hope to see you there.
Greetings and welcome to The Dungeon Run, a live tabletop role-playing game where your interactions help tell the tale. I am Lord Ereban, the Keeper of Secrets, and I have brought these adventurers together and set them on an epic quest to decide the fate of the world. When they found my amulet, it gave them the key to unlock the mysteries of Ein and allowed them to communicate with you, the Watchers of the Time Stream. Now you have the power to help or hinder them as you see fit. If this is your first episode, fear not. Our Dungeon Master will catch you up on everything you need to know to jump right in. And you can always watch past episodes by visiting our YouTube or listen to the audio version by searching for The Dungeon Run wherever you get fine podcasts. The Dungeon Run is made possible through the generous support of our patrons. Bonus shows, special content, and more is available when you become a supporter at patreon.com/thedungeonrun. And join the incredible Dungeon Run community by visiting the official, unofficial Discord at thedungeon.run/Discord. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does make a difference. But now, sit back, relax, enter the world of Ein, and let the dice roll!
There we are! Welcome!
Hi!
Watchers of the Time Stream, patrons, welcome to episode 96 of the Dungeon Run. Hey, if this is your first episode, fear not. We're going to catch you up on everything you need to know to jump right into our story now. But first, I want to welcome you to the show. Welcome, players. How are you guys doing today?
Hey, pretty good.
Pretty excited and scared.
Juicy.
How are you, Jeff?
Should be. You should be. We got a few announcements. First, I want to say this show is possible because of our patrons over at patreon.com/thedungeonrun. Wonderful rewards for you becoming a patron. It's really it's the only reason why this show continues to be, is because of our very generous patrons. You can become one of them. You can help make the show continue, and you can actually get something cool in return. There's an entire bonus show called the Dungeon Cooldown, which is new every week. This last week, we had Jared Kajak and Jessica Lynn Parsons holding down the fort on the Dungeon Cooldown. It was a really cool episode. Jessica was live from Michigan. She still
am.
Yeah, very, very cool. And we got all kinds of other stuff. Cast secrets. There's a new cast secret coming soon from Morgan Peter Brown. And
that's correct.
There are DM secrets. I'm a little late on mine this week, or this month, I should say, but it's because I'm doing a very requested thing, which is I'm gonna tell folks what a week in the life of the Dungeon Master for the Dungeon Run is like.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
So stay tuned.
We've been
for
asking
that.
Jeff this for years.
Yeah, you can.
It's just
literal.
him typing all work and no play on the
Yeah,
typewriter.
yeah, for dull boy. A lot of pictures of my kids. No, I'm just kidding.
It's just a slideshow.
Morgan, are you doing crunches?
No, I was that was me mimicking.
Just hours of crunches. I'm like,
He's got to get his 8-pack going.
I hope
His
that Jeff
Warden-
makes himself
Warden
look like
8-pack.
he's like working out like 8 hours a
That's
day,
right.
and this like it's
The only-
not truthful.
the only way to
Welcome back.
to DM in Dungeons and Dragons, I'm told, is to have sick abs.
Yeah,
All
lots
right.
of planking.
Gotta have
Lots
Warden
of
abs.
planking.
Believe
That's
me.
it. That's what people come to our Patreon for.
We have other big news, big news, and it is because of the Patreon that we can announce that the Dungeon Run family of programming is expanding. We have a brand new show that Ron and Jared have been working on quite feverishly over the last several weeks. Jared, do you want to tell folks, give a little tease as to what It might be this week that it premieres. Give us a tease, Jared.
Yeah, it just started out as an idea at first in the back of my mind, and then I started talking about it, and then Ron heard me talking about it, and he was like, I like that idea. I want to be a part of that. And then our one of our guests, who I just happened to game with on a Jasper's game day, I don't want to spoil who it is, but he said he wanted to do it. So that's how it ended up becoming a thing. And I think we have some pretty cool graphic stuff that that JLP has been working on quite a bit. Can we show that, Sean? Is that possible? There it is.
Just a little tease.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a show delving into the artistry behind creating Dungeons and Dragons style content, tabletop live play content, and you guys are seeking out incredible guests to talk to and interview, and I think this show is going to be really something special. It's going to be a treasure trove of great ideas and commentary and a deep dive into what this hobby is all about. So I'm excited to see it too. I haven't seen a single frame yet, so I'm excited.
There's lots and lots of planking involved in this.
Especially on my part.
Yeah,
especially on my part.
Really, just
I mean, it wouldn't be
working
Dungeons
on our
and Dragons
abs.
without like a solid ab workout.
Yeah,
That's right. That's great.
and the artists and the designers aren't into it at first, the ones that we're interviewing, but after a while, when they see us, Ron and I, really getting into the workout, they join in.
That's why they call them the core rule books.
Oh my God.
What is a sculpted ab other than an easel? I mean, really.
Yeah, it's true.
This show has changed so much.
This looks like our viewership went down to 0.
Morgan's like, I didn't approve that. I didn't approve that.
So, but I do need to tell you some other things before we get started. You can visit our merch store. We have awesome merch. You can check out stuff like this here cool iPhone case. Look at that.
That's
you get any
right.
of our characters on it, including me. I'm not even a character. Look at that.
You're so many characters.
You're so many characters.
All of the characters.
You're literally everyone else.
As the credits say.
All kinds of cool stuff. So check that out. During the course of our game tonight, live, if you are here live, you can influence the game. We do have a tug of war every episode between Team Force of Good and Team Force of Evil, based on digital items that you can purchase. So if you want to influence the team, you can buy advantage and disadvantage, which will have a direct impact on their dice rolls. But you can also have a big impact in the following episode by contributing to that tug of war. The balloons, there are gold balloons for Team Force of Good and purple balloons for Team Force of Evil. And the big items, the golden potato and the purple yam, influence that tug of war. And at the end of every episode, the team that won the tug of war will have a card active, a force card active for the following episode, the entire episode. Last week, Team Force of Evil crushed. I think it was the biggest margin of victory in the history of our show. 92%
it was
Team Force
ugly.
of Evil.
Good.
Which means tonight there is a Force of Evil card in effect through this entire session. And those cards are submitted by you, the viewers. You don't even have to be a patron to submit cards. And boy, I'm telling you, the level of creativity on the cards this last week was another level. I had such a difficult time choosing the Force of Evil cards because there were so many good ones. The one I settled on was submitted by Breba.
All of the characters lose 7
Breba-
levels. Is that it?
Breba does not pull punches when it comes to the Force of Evil cards. Breba submitted this card, and it is entitled Dice of Growing Impatience.
I already don't like it.
This session, the dice are eager for excitement. Whenever you make any d20 roll that is not a critical failure, your threshold for critical failures increases by 1. So, for example, a 1 or a 2 would count as a critical failure. Then a 1, a 2, or a 3, and so on. Each time you do roll a critical failure, your threshold resets back to 1.
Oh, I like it.
What are you talking about?
That is.
Yeah, you don't roll 50 times in a
No,
combat
I mean,
like Ron and I do.
I don't like it, but I'm also very impressed. That is.
Katie feels very comfortable right now.
I'm
Katie is
impressed.
sitting pretty.
Look, as a
Increases by
horror
one?
guy, yes, I am impressed by the fiendishness at work here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes. It is
Definitely evil.
Yikes.
Like I said, there was a lot of really excellent, just a whole other level that people have reached.
Wow.
Kudos to Brave Us. So that is the Team Force of Evil card that will be in effect all episode long. And if you would like to, we have actually already an evil yam. An evil yam has already been awarded by Changebox. Thank you, Changebox.
Could change box.
For that evil yam, and there was a balloon from Squid Bob Tentacle Pants. So the current update is Team Force of Good, 5%.
Yeah.
Team Force of Evil, 95%. So we may get a chance to see another Team Force of Evil card next week if it stays like this.
All right.
Nobody roll this whole episode. Don't do anything. Don't look anywhere.
no.
Don't talk to anyone.
I put a bag over my head. I sit on the street and I do nothing.
All right. I believe we have said everything we need to say. Jessica, this is usually the part where you jump in and say, no, I have something to say.
No, Jeff, I have something I want to say. I just want to shout out everybody who's been gifting subs to the community. I'm seeing so many gift subs from Tua Mask. Who else do we have?
Witch Space, I saw a bunch.
All-Star Witch Space, Venetti,
Or the
Rogue
Rogue.
resubscribed, Just Jules resubscribed. We have bits given out. That is Meep squeaking in the background. Ninja Fidero gave out 10 community subs.
Wow,
There's
thank
so
you.
many in chat. We'll never get to all of them, but we also reached a hype train, a level 5 hype train. So thank you so much for your cheers. We hear them loud and clear. It means the world to us.
Yay.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And that leaves us only one thing left to do, and it's light the torch. It started as a simple dungeon run, but it has become something altogether more dangerous. A quest to save the world. For when these 5 adventurers ventured into that dungeon, they emerged with the Secret Keeper's Amulet, a magical item from a time long forgotten in Ain, the Ariat Age, a time of peace and prosperity that was shattered by the War of Ideas 300 years ago. Only by sacrificing everything were a group of Ain's greatest champions able to restore order and ensure the safety of the realms. These champions gave up their lives to become the Wardens, 100-foot-tall elemental titans who have protected the lands ever since. That is, until a cabal led by the shadowy Ashen Mage began capturing the Wardens and siphoning their power for her own nefarious purposes. When our heroes found the Secret Keeper's Amulet, it brought them into contact with the Natural Order, a conclave of wizards who had been searching for the missing Wardens. One of their number, a wizard named Torvald the Timid, told them that the amulet was the key to unraveling the mystery of the Ariat Age and preventing another calamity like the War of Ideas. It alone could unlock hidden memories from the Warden's past, clues about their creation and the lost knowledge of Ain. So, the team began searching for the Wardens, battling members of the Ashen Mage's cabal along the way. As they freed each new Warden, they were able to witness a vision of the past and learn more than anyone alive about their world's forgotten history. This trajectory inevitably brought them face to face with the Ashen Mage herself, atop a fiery volcano known as Sky Scorcher Peak. There, the Ashen Mage rejected the wishes of her ally, a con artist named Vic, and tried to recruit Fahima into her cabal as their 5th member. Vic was furious and smashed a prized urn held by the Ashen Mage. The resulting explosion released a torrent of otherworldly creatures into the realms, demons that stalk the open spaces of Ayn and lay waste to vulnerable cities and towns. Having freed 3 wardens, the Heroes of Bingle turned their attention to gathering allies, battling back the demon threat, and consolidating their resources. They tried to learn more about Vic's history in Olsvach, and visited the orcish city of Thorn, where Uggo's brother had made an alliance to intensify the orcs' war against the dwarves. Uggo defeated his brother to assume control of Thorn, but was forced to sacrifice all of his levels of barbarian to ensure the safety of his people. Weakened and vulnerable, he and the rest of the Heroes of Bingle returned to James's hometown of Terlis to reunite with the Natural Order. As they witnessed in their first trip to the city, Terlis was in lockdown. A moratorium on magic had been enacted by the Chief Regent, Persta Samuels, following an arcane murder of a city guard. But that moratorium proved difficult for the team to abide. An official named Audric Lucerne tried to confiscate Fahima's pet phoenix, so Uggo publicly threatened to tear the man limb from limb. When Lucerne's dismembered body was later discovered, the team was wanted for the murder and forced to flee. Now back in the city after a long absence, things have gotten only worse. Wanted posters with the team's faces plastered all over them still hang throughout Terlis, and the moratorium is still in effect. But now, demons bombard the city walls. The heroes found refuge inside Nightstone Abbey with James's old mentor at the school, Hermel Fesh. But shortly after they arrived, a concentrated demonic assault broke through the city's northern border. After using magic to repel the attack, James attempted to leverage the event by recreating the team's bravery for Persta Samuels in a dream, hoping she might reconsider the efficacy of the moratorium. Next, they set about clearing their names for the murder of Audric Lucerne. They found his grave on the Nightstone grounds, dug him up, and cast Speak to the Dead on the rotting corpse. Lucerne revealed he had been murdered by thieves, so Civ tracked down some rogues who had snuck inside the city walls after their shantytown was destroyed by invading demons. Civ persuaded them to divulge that a large orc named Beal had been hired to carry out the murder on Lucerne, hired by none other than Vic herself, to frame them and prevent them from ever finding the Ashen Mage. Using Lily's seeming spell, the team disguised themselves as guards, or bakers, or perhaps guard bakers, and tracked Beal to an abandoned building. Deftly avoiding a confrontation, the team managed to cast Suggestion on Beal before a fight broke out. James commanded the criminal to follow them back to Persta Samuel's bunker and confess his crimes. As we ended last week, the team marched through the city, arriving at the portcullis protecting the front of Persta Samuel's barracks. They stand at a secure and well-defended fort with a prisoner magically compelled to present himself to the leader who has outlawed magic. That is where we will pick up this week.
When you put it that way.
Did I forget to mention that I'm playing Sir Helvengard tonight as our legal representation?
It sounds so much scarier when Jeff says what we did.
Guard Bakers coming to BBC this fall.
Yeah.
It's a guard baker. My name is Guard Baker. I'm a baker guard. All right. So you find yourselves, or at least 4 of you do, standing on the street that ends at the bunker, at the barracks in which Persta Samuels resides. There is a very large, very sturdy-looking portcullis in front of you, closed. Civ, explain to me exactly where you went. I know that you have collected all of the magical items, nearly all of the magical items that the team had in their possession.
Yeah, and that would all go into the bag of holding. So
bag of holding.
The only thing that's really glowing on me right now is my own personal possessions that would be magical in the bag. That's it.
Okay.
Although the amulet would still be around my neck, just underneath my armor.
All right. And where
as far
are
as
you?
where I would go, I would peel off before we even got to the building, so that I can find a alleyway to then go from beggar back to guard.
Okay.
And not a guard baker, just a regular guard.
Gotcha. You are the only one who actually has a physical guard costume. Everybody else has got an illusion of a guard costume.
Correct.
Oh, actually, I'll go. You have
It's a different city guard.
Old Swatch. Yeah.
Old
He's got
Swatch
Old
guard.
Swatch plate mail.
Right.
It's a real Beverly Hills Cop situation.
So the reason I ask, Civ, is I want to kind of discern exactly how much you can see and hear of what's happening. Like how far away? You're a full street, city block away? Is that?
Well, I don't know I understand what you're saying. I don't know the layout around the compound. Is it other buildings? Are those buildings prisons? Like what's around the compound of Purse to Samuels?
The prison is nearby, but it is not on the same street. There are other buildings, but and streets, but many of them aren't sort of government or city buildings. It's just various shops and residences, what have you. I mean, this is sort of the center of the city. It's like you found the police precinct, right?
Sure. Then I would probably start patrolling, quote unquote, in my guard disguise, so that I can see what's happening with them, but I also want to know what's going on with Purse to Samuel's compound. So I would be walking kind of a ways away from them, either trailing them or in front of them or to the side or what have you. Okay. And then when they get closer to that portcullis, then I would peel away and continue down that street so that I can do a full circle around the compound to see what it is that they're walking into.
Okay. Well, if you're making a full circle around the compound, it's quite large. So, it's multiple city, a full block on every side. It's massive.
Yeah, I'll walk the whole thing.
Okay. All right. Everybody else, you are standing with Beal, who is this large, rough and tumble looking orc. Got a hat low on his head, stogie in his mouth, and fully under your sway. He is fully in the rapture of the suggestion spell, ready to spill his guts as soon as he can. But a portcullis stands between you and anything. What would you like to do?
We're no longer invisible, right? Or are we?
I don't think you guys were ever invisible, unless
we were briefly as we were leaving Beal's hideout, but then we dropped it.
Pretty sure we dropped it.
Are there guards there at the portcullis, or what do we see?
Roll me. Oh my goodness! I gotta mention some potatoes that just rolled in.
Whoa!
Hey.
I love the visual of potatoes rolling in.
Yeah, it's, they're a little lumpy, but they still roll pretty well.
Nice.
Bacon Chef Tommy with the gold potato.
Bacons and potatoes.
Kitty Scritches with the potato.
Hey.
Thank you.
And Red Robin 1972 with the potato set that says "Happy Anniversary, Jeff."
Yay! Happy
that's
anniversary.
For you and Aaron.
Yeah, I had my wedding anniversary this last week, and I'm just yesterday, day before yesterday.
It was yesterday.
It was yesterday. Time flies when you're having fun. Thank you, Red Robin. That is very sweet and kind. We also got another yam from Changebox.
Changebox.
So,
wow.
and a balloon from page 96 of The Hobbit. Now I gotta go look that up. I guess it will change depending on which version you've got. Right?
Is that a clue? Is that advice?
I like the
is that
idea
advice
of-
to us?
I like the idea of an ARG inside our balloon donations. It's pretty well.
Is that person telling us that we should have giant eagles show up to fly us out of town? I think maybe that might be what that's telling us to do.
That would be Lord of the Rings. But yes.
Is that The Hobbit too? All right, I'm sorry.
Correct.
I think the giant eagles are in all of it. Anytime they're in real deep, giant eagles show up.
Team Force of Good at 60% and Team Force of Evil at 40%.
Ooh, baby. Okay.
All right. Okay, so I'm sorry. What were we saying right before that?
We were
Other
looking.
guards.
Yeah, other guards, anything else like that at the portcullis.
You definitely can see a lot of movement through there, but why don't you roll me a perception check to see precisely what you see?
I will.
They're gonna know that we're guards. We're not guards pretty quick, I think.
Yeah.
James, you have advantage from Squid Bob Tentacle Pants on that.
Thank you, Squid
you want
Bob.
to look.
If we can get past the initial guards, that would be ideal.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. Okay, so you peer into this, past this portcullis. It seems to be a long sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Like a holding room, like a buffer between the innermost part of the fort and the exterior. So there's a portcullis, and then there are sort of a hallway, almost a narrow section with walls on either side, and then a second portcullis behind that. So there is this sort of middle space between two portcullises. Portculli? I don't want to go there.
I think you might.
And you definitely see, there doesn't seem to be anyone in that space at the moment, but you definitely see past that second portcullis, lots of movement.
Right. I'll call out. Hey there! Hey, we have important business!
You hear rattling and movement, and then that second portcullis goes up, and you see a guard in full armor walk through it. The portcullis goes down behind him, and he stands and moves about halfway across the distance of that hallway and stands peering at you through the second portcullis, and he says, "What's your business?"
It's urgent business. This man right here. We were on our usual patrol, and this man right here approached us and let us know he had a crime to confess. Go on, tell him.
"I'd like to confess my crimes,"
says Beals. And you see the man turn and shout something through that second back portcullis, and it raises again. Two more guards come through. One of them looks like they are dressed in Nightstone robes, and that portcullis then closes again. And the first portcullis that you are standing in front of opens. So now there are three people standing in the room you're in front of you, and they say, the guy you spoke to says, "Enter."
I will bring him in, and I will say, and as I will take him by the arm, Beal. I mean, I can't really lead him. He's way stronger than I am. But basically, like, go on, start talking, tell him. I see that Nightstone guy, and I'm like, I need to get those words out of his mouth as fast as possible.
All right. So these guys are beckoning you past the front gate, which is now open in front of you.
I think we're still moving, but if we're approaching what looks like a mage, someone from Nightstone.
How does the Nightstone guy look? Like, what's his general?
I mean, you can roll me a perception check,
Okay.
or if you want to do some sort of insight.
I just want to see, what his kind of mood is on us, if there's any.
Oh, by the way, everybody that's rolled so far, James, you please keep track of your.
Keeping
you're
track.
now at a 2. That is a
Correct.
anything 2 or below.
Yep.
Hey, Jeff, I have a very important question.
Yeah,
Is the floor inside the portcullis dirt?
it is not.
It's wood?
It is not. It is like a tile.
Tile, stone-ish?
Yeah.
Ceramic. It's gorgeous.
The disguised Uggo, obviously, we are still seeminged, I'm assuming, looks down at the tile and enters the portcullis as we start to move forward.
Okay. Lily, why don't you roll me a perception check? You have advantage from a jar full of bees that has been countered by Phage Lives.
Oh, thank you, both of you. I got 15.
All right, so be sure to note down that you're at a 2.
Yeah, I'm at a 2.
And with a 15, as you peer at this this mage, it is very clear to you that the mage seems to be in service of the other 2 guards, sort of not you're sort of taking command or taking cues from the other guards, as if the rank is lower in some, or status level is lower in some way. I'll go as you walk forward, and as Beal walks forward, you walk past the threshold of the portcullis. So the rest of you going through as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I am nudging Beal and saying, like, go on, stop talking.
So you all walk in, and that portcullis closes behind you. Civ, you are making your way around the building, probably not seeing this, but now you guys are in this antechamber, sort of locked in with this, between these two closed portcullises, with two guards and a mage. And you see Beal walk straight, like ramrod straight, walk toward the guard, and he says,
I want to confess my crimes. I snuck into Terlis illegally and have been squatting in an abandoned merchant stable. I've robbed and stolen more things than I can count. Most often I've used violence to take what I want, so assault and battery is definitely on the list. A lot. I've conspired to steal, conspired to defraud, I've conspired to cover up my crimes.
You said something about a wizard from Terlis, a wizard from Nightstone. Tell them about that.
I've organized, participated in, observed and managed illegal gambling rings in multiple forms at multiple...
You gave him the suggestion to confess his crimes.
I did say, you're right, but I did say you'd been feeling guilty specifically about murdering that wizard from Nightstone.
Indeed, but you said, I suggest you relieve your conscience and confess to your crimes.
Okay.
When I was a boy, I one time snuck some cookies
That's
in
what
my
he's doing.
mother's kitchen. And then I blamed my younger brother and he got whipped.
Are you doing Goonies?
I managed illegal gambling rings in multiple forms at multiple locations throughout the city. And
he's been doing this the whole way here.
About the clientele.
And honestly, his knowledge of the law is impressive. He's very aware of all the crimes he's committed.
And law enforcement, I've trafficked in illegal goods, stolen goods, and illegal stolen goods. I've murdered 17 people.
17.
I can list them for you.
Please do.
Yes.
Quickly.
Do it.
First,
And he starts doing this litany of names.
No, give us 17 names, Jeff.
Lily will.
You didn't want to listen when I was doing the speech I wrote.
I love you so much.
Jeff, when he starts listing the names, Lily's just gonna take out a piece of paper as the guard and be like, I'll just track him down just so we have it.
He says,
and write them down.
Finally, he says,
the 16th is a wizard of Nightstone Abbey named Aldrich Lucerne. I was hired to rip this wizard's arms off and pummel him with them. It wasn't too hard. He was just a small, squishy mage. Without arms, he couldn't do much. I was paid to kill this man in this way by a tiefling woman named Vic. She had been leading a gang of thieves inside Terlis for quite some time, staking out a library inside Nightstone Abbey. She told me she wanted a wizard killed in this specific way, so as to frame this lot. Specifically, a tabaxi who is hiding somewhere that direction, holding all of their illegal magical stuff.
This is new, and I don't know.
This is a crime.
Hang on,
what we're doing is a crime.
But we've all been seeming the entire time. He wouldn't know it was us, Jeff.
Or disguised.
We've been in seeming the whole time.
Was he not a tabaxi when he was in seeming?
Maybe, but
guess
he wouldn't.
you're right.
He wouldn't
I
know
guess
that
you're
he
right.
wouldn't know that he was framing us.
Right.
That's
Well,
right.
I was
Okay.
still me.
He said-
I was just a beggar.
Maybe yes.
Yeah.
Maybe six.
Yes.
So
All right.
if he
Jared
saw through
was
my
him.
physical disguise, then
And he
it's
did
a-
witness us giving him a bunch
enough.
of magical items.
Fair enough. So he calls out the the magical stuff. He says,
She wanted you to arrest, detain them, and prevent them from leaving the city. She said a whole lot of people heard about an orc threatened to rip his arms off, and she wanted it done the exact same way. And she said I looked like him. I wanted to,
and he says the name of the 17th person he's killed even more recently.
he says I wanted to relieve my conscience of these crimes, so now I've done it.
When he says he looks like Uggo, I'll look at Uggo and be like,
Well, no, I mean, he doesn't know it's Uggo, so he just says,
Yeah.
yeah,
I know, but Lily will look at Uggo and be like, no, not really. You don't
It's
really
a-
look like him.
it's a good point. It's a good point that you're always in disguise. As soon as he completes saying, I wanted to relieve my conscience of these crimes and now I've done it, he looks shocked at what just came out of his mouth. And he turns and looks at you, James, and he runs over and grabs your throat. We'll do a grapple check.
Oh boy, not good.
So you have advantage from change box on this.
Thank you, change box.
I do want to point out, I hate to
I
do
got
this.
a nat 20.
I want to point out, Jeff, that though we are wearing clothes that are similar, it does not hold up to inspection or disguise. So the fact that he put his hand on his throat,
That would probably go through the
I'm
armor.
sorry to say that.
No, it's a good point.
It's a good point.
Remind me, grapple rules. Do I have to do strength to contest it, or
No, you can do
I'm,
dex.
I'm not going to win, but let's
It's
see.
no, it's athletics or acrobatics.
Exactly. So acrobatics being dex, yeah.
Jeff,
do I
Uggo's
have-
immediately going to try to
Fahima
pull him
will-
off too.
Yeah,
Okay.
Fahima's gonna step in with her dagger as well.
Do I have advantage or disadvantage?
I mentioned you had an advantage from
Sorry, yes, from change box. You
change
did say
box,
that.
but again,
Thank
you are
you.
at a 2 as a not fail. Now you'll be at a 3 if you.
I got a 10 total, and so that will go up to 3 for me.
Okay. At the same time, as this hand goes through, you see this Nightstone mage start to move his hands in a way that looks like he's casting a spell. Uggo, you're gonna try to stop.
Yeah.
Fahima's gonna step in with her dagger as well.
All right. So the result of this grapple check, James, is that you feel an incredible pressure on your throat. You're unable to breathe, and you take 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ouch.
Very strong.
Yeah, he's very strong.
He did rip somebody's arm off.
Yeah,
Beat
sure.
him to
Like,
death.
like,
He
it,
also
like it
has-
was nobody's business.
He was clear about how strong he was.
He also has an ability called vascular neck restraint,
Oh my god.
or blood choke, if you prefer.
Ah!
Yeah.
He doesn't even know the word vascular.
I got bachelor neck restraint.
That's the technical term for what they do in Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Ah!
Right. I'm just
and
saying
so-
Beal doesn't know.
James
the
about to
name.
tap out. Oh
So-
no.
James realizes that you can't tap out in real fights. I tapped.
So, Uggo, roll me a strength check. You have advantage from the Bingle Banshee.
What does the vascular neck restraint do?
Okay, it can only be used on a target that's medium or smaller. Attack deals 1d4 plus 5 bludgeoning damage, and the target is grappled. Until the grapple ends, attacker has advantage on all attack rolls against the target, and the target cannot breathe. If the target fails to break out of the grapple before a number of rounds equal to their Constitution modifier, which is what, James?
+1.
All right, so 6 seconds.
Okay.
The target becomes unconscious and their HP goes to 0.
Whoa.
Holy.
Jeff,
crap.
my grapple check, my athletics check is a 24.
24. All right, well, let's
You
see
would
what
have
I
to,
get.
yeah.
I have advantage from Change Box. Another happy anniversary, Jeff. Thank you, Change Box. Oh, that's not going to get it done. That is only a 17.
So I'll go come around behind him and slam his fists on the top parts of his forearm there, where it's real sensitive, in hopes of making him release
And he does. His hands come down, and you see this fight breaking out. And those of you, the rest of you standing there, see the guards start to advance. And the one in the Nightstone robes turns and says,
Can I, when he does that, Lily's just gonna, like, in a move of panic, what's the floor made of? What did you say?
It's
ceramic.
like tile and stone.
Okay, Lily in a move of panic is gonna step in front and be like, everybody back, careful! And, like, basically try and get in his way.
All right, why don't we actually head to
not touch him, but like,
Here we go.
Yikes.
Yep.
Not how I wanted this to go. Okay.
It was inevitable.
I know. Just I'd hoping we'd get
You guys weren't even inside
a
though.
little further.
This is like getting in a fight in a parking lot before you even go inside.
and we are coming in full magic blazing.
Yep.
Yes. All right, so I believe we can go to the map room now. Let's see, we got these.
Oh, beautiful.
Jeez. It's gorgeous.
These guards.
Yeah.
Sean, are you seeing it? Everything good?
Yeah. We're getting the map adjusted.
All right.
Okay.
All right, there we go. Okay, so you see this center section between these two portcullises, and you see Beal here in the center. Oop, that's right.
Yep.
And he's right in front of James. Ugo's knocking him. Fahima, are you that close? I guess you would be.
Yeah, she said she was gonna take out her dagger.
And
So
Lily jumped in front of the mage.
Right.
Maybe we should put her over there.
All right. So Lily, you are jumping in front of the mage. Why don't we actually roll initiative right now, and we'll be able to step through this in a much more clean
I moved
way.
myself over there, but
Oh god.
Keep in mind, guys, that initiative is a d20 roll, so it would impact our force of
Indeed.
evil.
I know this is bad.
Fahima, you have advantage from kitty scritches.
Thank
James,
you.
Straight rolls. as far as
Oh
I'm
my
concerned.
gosh! I rolled a 3 and I'm at a 2. I didn't.
Oh.
Ugo, you have advantage from Gateway Guy. Lily,
Thank
you have
you, Gateway
advantage
Guy.
from. I think it's Squid Bob Tentacle Pants, but it's all the vowels are gone. So Squid Bob Tentacle Pants.
It's like a license plate.
I
Does
have that.
each d20 count against our adding up to the disadvantage?
Oh no,
or
I
to the fail?
think just
If
each
it-
roll. If it's an advantage, doesn't count as 2. I don't think.
That's right. Each roll.
Okay, that would be.
Jeff, you said I had advantage.
That would be
No,
crazy.
not countered.
That's correct. Advantage
Right.
not countered.
I'm rolling that 3 again then. Okay.
19.
We got a couple of other. Changebox is going crazy with the yams. Thank you, Changebox. It's extraordinarily
Yay.
generous.
Thank you.
We got Yam 4, 5, and 6 from Changebox.
Whoa! Change box,
Yeah.
dude.
Excuse me, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So
Incredible.
6 total from Changebox. All yams. And we got a gold potato from Emotional Reserve.
Ooh.
I like
I'm
that.
going to reserve my emotions before I let them out about that.
I love them.
Ooh.
So Team Force of Evil is at 60%, and Team Force of Good is at 40%.
I mean, is it Team Force of Evil or is it just Changebox?
Captain
Team Force of Good
Changebox.
versus Changebox tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's
Wow.
okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
No,
that's
incredible. Incredible.
I got
yeah.
a 23.
Often the evil force is one individual villain. I've learned from movies.
Indeed. Yeah, I mean,
True.
was it a team or was it Patrick Mahomes? All right. So what do we get?
Whoa.
James
19.
19,
So I'm up
Fahima?
to 4 now.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. I'll go.
Nat 20 for a 22. I'm at 3 now.
All right, Lily.
I got a 23 and I'm also at 3 now.
All right, so Lily first, which actually makes sense for what just happened. Then Ugo. Actually, I haven't.
Well, Katie, you say you got a natural 20 or a dirty 20?
No, I got a 23.
Oh, okay.
Let me roll.
Wow, I roll a dirty 20 on the 23rd.
yards.
Actually good, because I don't know
do
if I should use
have-
magic or not.
I have advantage from change box on both of these rolls.
Oh my god, Lily, if you
nat
talk us
20 on.
through this gate as well as the dwarven gate, you're gonna go down in D&D history.
I don't know. This one is they
Even
don't
more
like
than
magic.
you already have.
Okay.
All right, so here's how it goes. It goes wait a minute. It goes Lily, Uggo, Mage, Fahima, James, Guard.
Oof.
Okay, Lily and Uggo, make it count.
Oof.
So Lily, your turn. You have stepped in front of this Nightstone mage who has just sort of said magic under his breath. Although, man, I don't know about you stepping around those guards without them apprehending you. I feel like you could step in front of the first line of guards, but maybe not around them without taking.
Okay, I just put myself there. I can change
Yeah.
it. I can change it.
So I think maybe there is where you've made it
Okay.
to.
That was so weird. I went to go move myself right when you did it.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Great. Okay. And I'll be like, I'm just gonna look at them, but specifically at the mage. I'll be like, everybody needs to be very careful with him. There's something not right.
So are you attempting to deceive?
Yeah, I'm attempting to get them to like let us handle it. Like, let us handle it. We've got this. There's something wrong with this man. We need to get him into a cage or something. He's unhinged.
Roll me a deception check. You have advantage from Lily Dumblestuck fan.
Appropriate.
I mean, that's not even really a lie. He's killed 17 people.
I mean,
There is something wrong with him.
To it.
Perception check.
or
That's just-
perception or persuasion, Jeff?
I was saying deception. Yeah.
Deception. Sorry, I didn't hear you. Okay, so why can I not see it right now? I feel like it's like my first week on the job. Oh, only an 18.
All right.
And I'm now at a 4. Jeez, this is scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tick, tick, tick.
Seriously.
All right. So Uggo, your turn. As Lily steps up and starts talking to these guards who are moving toward. You have just knocked Beal's hands down. I didn't roll Beal's initiative.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, and I guess my intention there is to like
not
get them to like we need to like find a place for this man.
All right. So Uggo, you have just knocked Beal's hands off of James's throat, and James, you know, as that happened, you regain the ability to breathe. You kind of felt the darkness coming in a little bit on losing consciousness.
Uggo is gonna yell, "You've heard him! He confessed to crimes! He just tried to kill that guy!" And Uggo will try to grapple him to the ground. He's already got him grappled. Yeah, I've already got him grappled, so I assume it's just another grapple check to prone him.
Yeah, I'll do that. We can do that. You have advantage from Spiderfalla.
Ooh,
I have
thank you,
advantage from
Spiderfalla.
Changebox.
How strong is Beal?
19.
Probably not enough for you. 22 for me.
Wow.
Yeah,
Sure, I thought
I rolled
Uggo wasn't
16
as
and got
strong
plus
as me.
6 athletics. Oh, you let me hit level 4, and now I'm as strong as I was before.
All right.
Regrets.
Don't forget to mark your tally up.
Yeah, I'm at 4 now. I'm at 4. Yep.
Okay. So you tackle Beal, and you see these two enormous orcs, but of course, Uggo's seeming spell is not holding up to this intense
for sure.
contact. But you see Uggo tackle Beal to the ground, and Beal struggling and yelling, "They forced me! I'll kill all of you!" That brings us to Guard Mage, who's going to attempt to
Guard
cast.
Mage?
Guard Mage.
Guard mage.
Guard
That was
Mage
like the
Comes after Baker Guard on BBC on Fridays.
Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Okay, so He's going to attempt to cast Dispel,
Oh, I knew it.
but he's not going to be able to cast a high enough level because Seeming is a 5th level spell, right?
Correct.
So he attempts to cast it.
I'm gonna double check, but I'm
It
positive.
is.
Yeah, seeming is 5.
I think you
scared
still
when
get a
you asked-
chance.
I get scared
though.
when you
still
ask me
get a
stuff, and
chance.
then
He
I
has to
have
roll.
to double check.
Well, it depends, right? It depends of whether he's
With the yellow.
targeting a specific thing or if it's an area, right? Isn't that how Dispel works?
Any spell of 3rd level or lower, the target ends. For each spell of higher on the target, make an ability check using your spellcasting ability. DC equals 10 plus the spell's level, so 15 in this case.
Yeah, DC.
So
15.
he's going to attempt to do that. I do have advantage from change box countered by emotional reserve. So this is a single attempt. Needs to be using my spellcasting modifier.
Just
right?
just so if it's intelligence, then just their intelligence modifier, not plus their proficiency bonus.
What is this working hiding?
I'm very worried because I'm about to look like a demon.
You like
Yep.
lifted one hand to talk and then you went back to hiding.
We rolled a 10.
Plus,
Yes, that's,
No, it was 7 plus 3. So it
yeah,
was
that's
10.
not going to do it.
So it does not. Nothing happens. You see the mage attempt to cast Dispel, and nothing changes. So now it is Fahima's turn.
Okay, so Ugo has what's his face? Beetle grapples. So I'm going to
and prone.
What level is suggestion? 2. So that does that?
He's
go
already
away?
complete. He already completed.
He
his
completed it.
suggestion.
Okay,
You can just- yes,
great.
good
Just
point.
making sure.
Good point, Katie. But yes, he has already completed that. So that's why he turned to attack, because once
Got it.
suggestion, once the parameters of suggestion are over, then you are no longer.
Spell drops. Yeah.
Spell is over. Yeah.
Cool.
Fahima sees the mage attempt to cast the spell and fail, so she continues to take out her dagger and takes kind of whips the cloth out of the bottom of her basket like you would pull off of a table at a restaurant really fast, whips it out and shoves it in the mouth of Beal and holds her dagger up to his chin and says, "You're coming with us, and you're going to be quiet about it, all right?"
All right.
intimidation.
Yes. I would like an intimidation check from Fahima. You have advantage from Gateway Guy.
Can I make an argument? Oh, she got advantage. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was going to assist, but you
He
already
is
have
prone.
advantage, so yeah. And I'm on top of him.
Yeah.
Rolled really well on that. That's a 19.
19. All right. So please tick up your threshold for
Yes,
failure.
I'm up to 3.
And you see, as the blade tickles his throat, you see, and Ugo, you feel him sort of relax a bit. Clearly does not want his throat slit and believes Fahima will do it.
Okay.
And as he relaxes, James, it is your turn. You've
Yeah.
just almost lost consciousness. You felt this intense strangling, and now you're looking at Ugo on top of him. Fahima's got the knife at his throat.
Do I even need to disengage from him if he's restrained? I don't.
Yeah,
even
no,
think I
you do
need
not.
to. Okay, so seeing that Ugo and Fahima have it in hand, I will move away and join Lily next to the guards and say, "She's right. She's right. We obviously need to get him locked up somewhere. This Lucerne fellow, he was important." And I'll look at the Nightstone. You've obviously heard of this person, right?
And you see this mage who has just tried to cast a spell. It didn't work. He looks at you, and clearly there is recognition in his eyes of that name. It doesn't seem to know quite what to do, but gives a little nod. And
This
looks,
is important. Fetch the Chief Regent. This is important.
All right. Roll me a persuasion check, James. You have a straight roll as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you. I swear to God, another nat 20.
Wow.
Yeah, baby.
Ooh, that Force of Evil's giving you luck.
So what's you're up to? Are you up to 5 now? on
Yeah,
your,
I'm up to 5.
threshold. Okay. All right.
That
So
was so scary, and that builds
Yeah.
fast.
yeah.
I'm about to be a demon any minute here, so let's make him count.
You see, it is now the guard's turn. You see that land on the guard that you're shouting to, and he says, he notes the fact that this criminal, this admitted criminal, is now subdued and is not fighting back. And he says, and the portcullises are both closed, and you're sort of contained here. And he says, all right, stand down, no one move. And the other guard walks to the back of this portcullis and talks through the gates, and you hear him say, get the Chief Regent. We've got a situation here.
Can we get some help? Wait, my friend, this man is extremely strong.
I'm telling you, we need a cage.
There's a moment where nobody moves. The guard has his weapon out. He's holding it on you. The mage stands there, his hands extended. You don't quite know what to do, but Beal is still looking at the dagger. It is now Beal's turn. He's now looking at the dagger, not doing anything, and he says, easy. And as you stand there for a very tense moment, you then see the portcullis in the back open again, and the guard extends his sword at you, and he points and says, everybody remain calm, and two more guards walk through, and a tall woman leads them. She is wearing very much how you saw her in the dream, James, actually. She is wearing beautiful, polished armor. Her hair blonde and silver, tied up tight in a bun. And she walks forward as the portcullis closes again behind her, and you are still stuck in this intermediary space, this entryway. Everyone seems to give deference to her as she walks in, and she says, all right, one of you tell me what's going on here.
We were on our patrol, and this orc, the one who's restrained on the ground, he approached us and said he had something to confess. We'd seen him around and heard stories, but he told us the same thing he told the three of them about the 17 murders and all of the other stuff. And he said he wanted to confess.
I made a list of the names.
None of you are gods I recognize. Are you under my employ? And then as she says that, the Nightstone mage leans in and he says, they're using magic. There's a moment. Anybody do anything?
Ugo looks at James and then looks at...
We are not.
I'll admit it's me.
I am Ugo Ragefist.
Okay.
I am here. We are here.
James Quillis of Nightstone Abbey and of all around, I guess.
I was just going to say it was something to do with the bread, but guess the cat's out of the bag now.
She raises her finger, and the guards behind her start to position themselves in a circle around you, all of you.
We come meaning no harm. We're here for the good of Terlis.
Listen, I'll show who we are. We just needed to find a way to get to you and talk to you and have a conversation, my lady. We greatly respect your leadership, but we think we have information that might be useful to you, and we understand this is extreme means to do so, but we didn't know how else to approach it, quite frankly.
And everything this man here said was the truth, looking down at Beal.
It is, and I truly do have a list of names.
The guard turns and he says, he confessed to crimes, he did. We heard it all.
Aldrich Lucerne was murdered by this man's hand.
It was magic. They tricked me. Get off me, you...
It was magic, but the truth was all it was doing.
Are you dropping the seeming spell?
Before you do, Lily, when she does, you should know that I may appear monstrous. I assure you,
You're sick.
it is a result of our fighting of
The demons are coming this gate.
the evil forces that have been attacking Terlis and all of Ein.
Which we defeated.
Yes.
Correct. So, please don't let my appearance shock you.
Or we could just stay as we are, if you prefer it.
No magic in Terlis.
Okay,
It is the law.
and here as we are.
So you drop the spell?
Mhm.
Before you do, Civ, you're making your way around the circumference of this building. It is quite large.
I'm not dropping it for Civ. Also, just he can.
It wasn't even on him.
It was
Yeah.
on.
Oh right. Okay. Okay.
So
Meep is no longer a village chicken. Most important.
Ah.
Sorry.
depending on how quickly you're moving, Civ, you may be back all the way around to the front by this time. I don't know how fast you were trying to case the
Well,
joint
I'm
or
sure
trying to blend in.
once I hear the sounds of battle, I'm sure I would come running because I would want to know if they're all right or not.
I don't know if you would have heard the sounds of battle per se.
Then I would be taking my time. I would be casing the joint, as you said.
All right.
Civ's like whistling to himself, having a little breath.
Sure. It's
Well,
gonna happen.
I'm getting a layout of the building, so I want to know windows,
No,
I want
it's
to know
great.
guards, how tall,
Roll
how
me a
tall is the
perception
wall
check.
around the outside, all of that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Roll a perception check. You have advantage from change box.
Thank you, change box.
Wait a minute.
25.
25. All right. So you recognize this building as being very sturdily made, very well made, very well defended. As you sort of nonchalantly make your way across, you see guards moving along the upper wall. It does seem to be a very heavily defended barracks. It's a barracks. It's a fort. There doesn't seem to be a lot of activity around the backside of the building as far as pedestrians or movement, but as you get a little closer with a 25, you rolled a 25.
Yep.
Maybe you do hear a bit of movement, action, your friends' voices carrying a bit. Maybe not able to make out specific words, but more than mere silence, that's for sure. All right.
Okay.
So as Lily's seeming spell drops, the disguises that you are all wearing fade and dissolve. And James, you stand there, eyes black, teeth sharp, skin thin and veiny. And the guards that are standing around you immediately look tense. And even though you warned them, it is a jarring sight for all of them who have taken shifts defending the city, fighting back the demon threat that has been attacking through the walls. A couple of the guards go, "He's a demon. He's a demon." And Ugo, as you transform underneath you, Beal looks up and he goes, "It's you. It's all of you."
It's us what, Beal?
From the posters. The ones.
And he looks at the guards and then he stops talking. And Persta says, "Did you invade my dreams?"
Yes.
No.
Lily, roll me a deception check. You have advantage from Lily Dumblestuck fan, countered by Chef Scott 68.
I choose to believe Lily's voice was louder than his voice.
Okay, deception.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm straight roll. Oh my gosh, now I'm up to freaking 5. I'm so scared. Okay. Deception. 26.
Yeesh.
Oh,
The bard.
wow.
Why do you perform magic in my city?
Listen, as I said, we're very sorry, truly. We don't mean to disrupt your rule. But we have been adventuring and we have important information to share with you. And quite frankly, we didn't know a way to get to you with the fraudulent posters around the city of our being wanted that was going to be face to face with you and not us just locked in a cell. And that does nothing for anyone.
And the friends of ours that have been imprisoned simply for knowing us. Those people have been wrongfully imprisoned. We have done no such crime.
Additionally, we were forced to use our magic to defend ourselves against the demons attacking the city. So
There's lots to talk about,
we're
and
left with no choice.
we would love to have a conversation with you, and we're happy to wear magic necklaces or whatever.
Fahima blanches.
We don't love it. I would love to not do that, but I'm just saying.
Snake on the necklace, snake.
That is indeed what happens as the guards
Nope.
reach out.
PTSD.
Nope.
Put
I
necklaces.
knew it would. I knew it
around
would. You know they're not
Lily.
going to let
Jeff,
us either.
Jeff
Yeah.
Uggo imagines a hole in the tile and
Okay.
begins to dig himself straight down.
What? Oh my
All
god.
right, and you see you see the tile begin to pull back and reform itself, and Uggo begin to sink. As we've said, every time this has happened, it's a slow process, but Uggo begins to sink, and you see Purse to say, "Apprehend them!" And we're already in initiative order.
Oh my god.
Lily, you are first. You have a necklace or a magic dampening collar that has just been placed around your neck. And they were attempting to put them on the rest of the team as well, not knowing who was a caster and who wasn't, although everybody here is a caster at this point. So
true.
Lily, you are unable to cast magic. And what would you like to do?
I will put my hands in the air and I will say, listen, my friend is scared. We have been attacked ruthlessly. We have been threatened, and we have seen things that we would love to not have seen. And we bring you this information as your ally. Please understand. Please. We just want to talk.
Roll me a persuasion check. You have advantage from Sonic the Hodgepodge, countered by Chef Scott 68. And you are at what, 5 for your
You got this.
fail?
I got a 5.
Got a 5.
Oh no!
All right.
I got a 5.
Clearly that does not work. And you see the guard in front of you who just
Whose
put the collar
name am I
on you.
yelling at? Who gave us this? Brava?
Brava.
Brava.
Brava. Okay.
A go. You are descending. It is your turn. You are descending into the ground. Is that correct?
Yep.
You will continue to do so?
I will continue to do so.
All right.
Does that mean that Beal is now loose?
Indeed it does.
Okay.
Well, I still have a knife up to his throat.
You do.
That's true, but he is not grappled. Unless you
Actually,
want to take him with you.
I am taking him with me.
Okay. All right. So you see both of these orcs. You see, Uggo on top of this orc as the ground starts to reconstitute itself around the two of you, and you start sinking into the ground. 6 seconds, you're moving lower and lower as the tile and everything are breaking underneath you.
Jeff,
And-
as I do that, I want to imagine that as I'm sinking, Beal is left, buried with his arms by his side, but his head above the dirt as I sink in.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, so you see the earth and ground start to form itself in the exact mold of his body, the exact shape of his body.
And that's my turn.
That is your turn. It is Guard Mage's turn. He heard the command apprehend them, so he is going to cast Hold Person on Ugo. So that's a wisdom save. You have advantage from a jar full of bees.
Advantage from a jar full of bees. Thank you, a jar full of bees.
And what is your fail modifier up to?
I'm at 4. It'll be 5 after this. Roll the 17 and a 7. That makes my wisdom save a 20.
All right. So you are not held. And that is that mage's turn. Fahima, as you stand there, you are holding the knife at Beal's throat, and you see him start to sink into the ground, and the earth start to reshape itself to fill in the gaps around him. But he's now there's a gap between your dagger and his neck as he moves, as he falls into the earth.
Fahima freezes for a moment, looking at the neck brace, and looks to the hole that Ugo has made, and looks to Lily with her hands up and the neck brace on, and says, "Meep, go." And Meep will shoot straight up into the sky, and Fahima will pocket her dagger and put her hands up and step up to Lily. I'll go with you.
Okay. All right. So you step forward and right to a guard, and right next to Lily. I guess we put you there. Arms raised. James, your turn. You're also standing right next to the two women.
Yeah, I will also put my hands up. Say, this is unnecessary. We are your allies. The evils against us are great, obviously. We're doing what we can, and we just want to talk.
All right. So, you stand there, arms raised. You stand there, arms raised. It is the guards' turns. These two guards move right over to Ugo and attempt to swing a sword at him as he's sinking into the ground. I have advantage from change box countered by emotional reserve on my first attack, and advantage from change box countered by CTAR on my second attack.
Assuming I cannot use a shield in this moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Where's my...
You might get partial cover though.
That's a good point.
Yeah, he's half submerged.
He's half underground. I would say Beal gets full cover, but he's never
except for his head, but yeah.
Yeah. I gotta watch out for that. All right, let's see what these are. Oh man, that is a 30. That the first.
Oh yeah, I mean
rolled.
that, even with cover, that hits for sure.
Yeah.
30.
But the second one is a 11.
That misses even without cover.
All right.
But the first one hits for sure.
All right. So you take.
Guards are serious. Rolling.
Oh, I rolled a 1 on a D12.
It's rough.
so rough.
6 points of piercing damage from a sword. And as you get stabbed just as the last bits of dirt cover over your head and you disappear into the ground, and the guards yell and scream, and Beal now covered his neck. He's stuck under the ground, and his neck is the only thing you can see is that his neck is sealed into the ground.
We do not want this. Please.
Persta moves up and she says, "You have defied an order. Take them away. We'll meet them in the brig. And they start leading you forward, these guards.
You cannot leave us waiting long, Chief Regent. Please, time is of the essence. The city is not safe.
Once you are secure, and I have assessed the situation, we will speak further. If you are truly telling the truth, I will hear you out. But none of you comes into my city and defies my laws. Take them away.
Insight check.
All right. You have a straight roll as far as I'm concerned.
I just want to... Yeah.
Despite there standing a mage literally 5 feet from her that literally just defied her own law.
No, yeah, well...
It's
in service of the law, it's still defying the law.
Well, she makes the law, so she can't really define her own law.
I totally agree.
This is, I think
it's a law she
I am the
made.
law.
This is a assault weapons ban, except for the cops type of situation.
Of course.
I keep rolling very well. I rolled a 21.
All right, so
I'm up to 6 now.
You see she seems to very much mean what she says. There is a fury in her eyes and a control for the rest of her. She seems to be simmering just below the surface, but everything is precise, is crisp. She is not flustered, but she is angry.
Okay.
Civ.
Yo.
This is about the time that you come around. If you want to roll me a perception check through the bars.
I mean, I wouldn't come right up to the bars. I'm not that dumb.
No, I don't mean that you came up right to the bars. I mean, if you get to an angle where
How
you're
much
looking,
blood wine has Civ had, though?
you're looking through the
Gave
bars.
it away. Otherwise, yeah, I'd be cracking that out right about now.
I mean, you can tell me what you'd like to do. I mean, it's clear to you after you get to the front that your friends are inside.
It sounds like based off the last perception check, it sounds like things got heated and there's some kind of altercation, right?
Yeah.
I can deduce that.
Yes.
And I don't hear them or see them coming out of the gates.
Correct.
Right? Is it possible for me to walk by and look down that portcullis hallway to see what's going on, or am I just going to be like the most conspicuous guard walking by, peering in, like what's
I mean, there's a
deal?
distance at which you could probably pull that off rather inconspicuously, but yes, you're right.
Then,
if you walked right up to the gates, you would be very conspicuous.
Yeah, then I will take the long route and kind of loop around, do like a semicircle almost, and still try to look through to see what's happening to my friends.
Okay. I want to mention some potatoes. The war is in full effect. The tug of war is in full effect. In fact, it's pretty exciting. Gold potatoes from That's Wild Man. Thank you, That's Wild Man. From 2 golden potatoes from Bacon Chef Tommy.
Wow.
Thank you, Bacon Chef Tommy. Incredible. That is 3 total from Bacon Chef Tommy. Goofus McDorkle with the potato.
Oh, good old Goofus McDorkle.
Change box with yams 7 and 8.
Oh,
change box.
Dang.
Guys.
And we got balloons from 205 6603 and balloons from Chef Sats 68, which brings the total of the tug of war to, get this, 50-50.
Whoa.
Right down the middle.
Woo!
Wow.
All right. So
I'm legitimately scared by change box.
you can roll me that perception check. Remember to tick up your automatic fail number.
Yeah,
you have a straight roll as far as I'm concerned.
God. 19.
All right. What you see, Civ, is this entire group sans a eel who's stuck in the ground and struggling and screaming.
Like he's at the beach.
Yeah. You see this entire group walk forward, the portcullis raises, and the portcullis closes, everybody moves.
They got collars on. I see the collars.
The collars, the collars are now applied to James and Fahima. Ugo is, Ugo is gone.
I don't see Ugo, though, correct?
That's correct. You do not see Uggo.
Okay.
All right. So what we're gonna do, since we've again split the party, which is our favorite thing to do in big cities, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hang out with Uggo and Civ for a second.
Oh no!
So Uggo and Civ. So Uggo, you are under the ground. What would you like to do? I'm assuming you are moving in a direction that you feel is toward the exit underneath.
Yeah,
the
I
ground.
think pretty much can remember like that way is the way the
I think it's
portcullis
pretty.
was. Yeah.
I mean, Fahima has done this a number of times, where she sort of stays in a position that is the same orientation as when she was above ground, and then just sort of moves the earth in such a way.
It's like an
that she's-
elevator.
Yeah, like a.
It really
Well,
wants an
I-
elevator.
I am trained in survival as an orc, and before going into the ground, I did know that on my right side was Uggo's right side was where the portcullis was, and so now that he's in the ground, I imagine still on the right side. So he'll turn himself to that right side and move directly in as straight as a line as he can in that direction. He'll move. He'll probably take 10 minutes of moving in that direction, approximately, before he imagines surfacing.
All right, so Civ, as you are observing your friends being clamped into collars and moved through the back of this barracks, you also witness or sense a rumble under the ground that seems unnatural and strange.
Yeah, I mean, I'll follow that, assuming that it's because I know Uggo kept the belt, so I will follow that as much as I possibly can.
So yeah, this is a Wascowee Wabbit who's now trying to not make a wrong turn at Albuquerque, and Civ, you are walking and hearing this rumble and trying to stay aware of where it is, and 10 minutes of this rumble moving through you see bits of tile and cobblestone from the streets kind of move up and then move back down, move up and move back down as this Bugs Bunny hump just moves through the ground until eventually Uggo, you get 10 minutes out.
And then I'll imagine myself
Sean, we can leave the map room, by the way. Thank you.
Just Uggo's eyes appear above the dirt, just to give a little, just to see. And then if the coast is clear, he'll imagine himself fully up.
All right, roll me a perception check. You have advantage from Whisper Joe.
Oh, thank you, Whisper Joe. Okay. All right. I'm at 6 now, but I rolled a 16. But the other one was a 6.
It doesn't matter.
It was advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Okay,
the one
cool.
that
Just want to make
counts,
sure
the
I
dice
was
that counts.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it was.
No, I
cool.
appreciate you being honest about that.
Yeah. So 16 plus perception.
Yes.
I'm also new at this. That's only a 17.
Okay. You are fairly confident that there is no one around. You are moving down this street. There's some movement, far down one avenue, but you've gotten to a place where, with a 17, I don't think you see Sivrak. He's, being inconspicuous.
Yeah.
Or Civ, I shouldn't say Sivrak. And you, but you are fairly confident that no one is observing you, or you don't see anybody around.
Okay. Well, then Uggo will imagine the ground reforms itself and he is on top of it.
All right, and Civ, you see Uggo sort of levitate up through the surface of the ground as stone and rock and dirt rumble around him. Just this displacement of all of this material as he kind of comes up. It's like the inverse of a building demolition, It's like he comes up out of the ground.
Awesome.
I'm gonna bolt towards him, pulling out a cloak from my disguise kit and wrapping it over his head and his shoulders, Because you currently are. Oh, you're wearing the Olsfach plate mail, right?
Yep.
But
Yeah,
they
and as
saw-
soon as I
but
come
they-
out, I slam shut the
Right,
visor.
but they saw that.
Yeah, they
saw
did.
that.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I'm still going to put the cloak and the hood over the top as much as possible, and then I'm going to start pulling you away from the building. We need to go.
So I can tell pretty quickly that it's Civ, I'm assuming.
I mean,
Because
You
if
saw-
I don't know
you
that's
saw him-
Civ,
I mean, he hasn't been disguised. He hasn't been
Okay.
disguised in any
Cool.
way that wasn't what you saw
Cool.
when
Okay.
last time you saw him.
yeah,
So yes.
fair enough. Okay.
you also hear
oh,
my voice.
oh.
We need to go.
Oh, yeah, okay. That part I missed. Sorry. Yeah, they got him.
Quiet.
Sorry.
And I'm going to immediately lead him down a couple alleyways just to get him away from the purview of the compound.
Yep.
And then when we get a couple blocks away and I get him into like an alleyway where there isn't any people, what happens?
And it's obviously making a lot of noise because I'm.
Oh yeah, I'm
Clink,
wearing a
clink,
guard
clink,
outfit
clink.
too.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Meep has flown around and has found you too, by the way.
Yeah, you can see the no longer disguised fiery bird flying through the sky.
That's gonna make us stick out.
Careful with that.
Sorry, she finds
Yeah.
you.
I mean, yeah.
Is Meep like, is she hot to the touch?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm going to reach into my bag of holding and start to take out coal, and I'm going to start rubbing it all over her body. It's the only thing I could think to do that's not going to burn off. So,
Yeah.
and while I'm rubbing Meep with this coal, I'm asking Uggo, what happened? What did she say?
And I'll go. So give me coal. I help.
I hand
and
you
then
a piece of coal.
we start rubbing Meep down with coal. So I don't remember everything that happened, but Beale confessed his crimes, and then we got her in there, and then I had to confess that it was us because the jig was up, and then
What did she
things went.
say? What did Persta say?
She said something about law and blah blah blah, and then decided to clamp the collars on Lily, and they were not going to cage me, Shiv.
Yes, I know. We have to get to Nightstone.
I know. I hope I made the right decision.
I don't say anything. I just kind of shake my head and shrug. And I'm gonna start leading.
Where were you?
I'm gonna keep. I was looking around the building to see if there's another way inside or out.
Did you
in case
find
we
one?
have- Yes, the backside is not heavily guarded. But that is neither here nor there because they are going to increase the number of guards, knowing that they have these prisoners inside right now. So until things cool down, it is going to be very hard for us to break them out. That is neither here nor there. We need to get someone to represent them, somebody from Nightstone to speak on their behalf.
Yes.
Persta is not going to care what they say, especially with James looking the way that he looks. So I'm taking Meep. I have her tucked underneath my arm, still rubbing coal on her, and I'm gonna lead Uggo back to Nightstone.
All right.
I really want fan art of the moment of Uggo coming out of the ground as Civ is like rubbing coal furiously on me.
Just like you drew it up. All right. So you guys are heading back through the city with a disguised, smoldering charcoal bird.
Yeah.
Smells great.
Yeah. It's like a.
I mean, if I have to get
Barbecue
dirt,
chicken.
if I have to get dirt somewhere as well, I'll stop and grab a handful of dirt and start rubbing that on her as well.
All right. I have to tell you about this tug of war. I know I keep interrupting the show, but it's extraordinary.
Ooh.
So we got potatoes from LZBN Wolf, I think it's Lesbian Wolf or Lisbon Wolf.
Okay,
Goofus McDorkle with their second.
Yay!
Thank you.
Love it.
That's Wildman with their second.
Ooh. Okay.
That's
Melodies
wild,
of
man.
Old with a potato.
Wow!
Nice.
Oh,
Changebox with potatoes 9, 10, 11, and
Wait,
12.
potatoes? Potatoes?
Yams.
Yams. 9, 10, 11, and 12. Chef's got 68 with yams 1, 2, and 3.
Guys,
Wow.
That's-
It's extraordinary.
There's
incredible.
so many gift subs and bits as well that I'm seeing in the back end here.
The generosity is really appreciated. We're grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
And it has made this tug of war incredible. Team Force of Good is now at 45%. Force of Evil at 55%.
It's gonna be a slugfest.
Yeah, it is a slugfest. It is a slugfest. All right. So, as you both make your way through the city, Civ using his street smarts to guide you, why don't you both roll me a stealth check, unless you don't intend to do stealth. Are you trying to be secretive, or are you kind of...
No, I mean, come on. Look who you're talking to here. Yeah, I'm being stealthy.
Okay.
I was like, what?
Do you want Meep to roll for stealth?
Sure.
No.
I like
Well,
it. I
all
like it. I like me rolling for stealth.
Can it not count against my rolls?
Well, no. You jumped in and said, can we roll for stealth?
I will also roll for stealth.
You have a straight
All right.
roll. Fahima, you have advantage from Gateway Guy. And
Gateway
Ugo,
Guy.
you
Thank
have
you.
advantage from Whisper Joe.
Aren't
Which
you
makes
both-
me straight roll because I'm at disadvantage.
I was gonna say, aren't you both in plate mail?
We should,
Well,
no.
are the guard outfits in Terlis also plate mail?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm at disadvantage then. I mean,
I'm
I
at
still
normal
rolled really
roll.
well.
I'm up to 7, but I rolled a 10.
28.
Okay.
Now
All
I'm
right.
up to 7.
You rolled a 10?
I rolled it. Stealth is +1, so 11. I rolled.
11. All right. So, and what was Meep's roll?
I'm rolling my second digital die right now. 15. She's a
Okay.
+4 to her stealth.
So, Civ, Ugo is definitely making a lot of noise, clinking and clanging with his armor through the city streets.
More alleyways, less streets.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Meanwhile, the rest of the team, as you feel the arcane, your connection to the arcane dampened by these callers, and you are led through a series of tunnels, not by Persta, but by guards. She seems to have gone in her own direction. And as you move through these tunnels, walking solemnly, looking at each other, the guards in front and behind, moving you forward, admonishing you if you speak or make noise, and you are shuffled into what seems to be an underground chamber, and it's pretty clear as you enter it, it is a prison. So, as you move through this section, it's got a number of different doors that you pass by. Dank, dark. You definitely pass by additional guards down there. You are being sort of forced, ushered through past compartments, containers, doors with bars on them, and
Jeff
you
went
get
full robot on me.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
went
same.
full on Star Wars communication
me.
right there.
Am I back?
You're
No.
here. I mean, we can
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
you, but
we can
it's
hear you.
it's
Jiggle
crackling.
your wire.
Jiggle my
Sounds
wire.
like it sounds like we're hearing
Hey,
a
Jeff,
red
jiggle
leader.
your wire. Jessica,
Red
can you
leader,
talk to
red
your
leader.
human resources office?
It's still like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Jiggling the wire didn't work.
I wonder if I need to leave the call and come back. I mean, there's no wire to jiggle, guys.
Maybe we should
Intermission?
intermission? Yeah.
XLR cable is what she's referring to. If there's a bad connection.
That was very sudden. I thought it was just me for a second, but you all made
It's
a
not
facial
gonna be
expression that you.
It's not the mic. It's the internet.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sure of it.
Oh,
I'm
there.
not sure of it, but it seems likely.
It's starting to lessen now.
It's a little better.
Yeah.
Can you hear it?
What if I just don't talk?
Yeah, we'll lead the way. So the guards bring
Okay,
us
so
to the
what
basement.
happens?
They're
You bring
like,
us to the basement.
I mean, if it's not clearing up, we can go to intermission. But I don't know. It's not clearing up.
No.
Got worse again. Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick intermission, and when we get back,
so bad.
yeah,
We'll get
somebody
it.
else say it.
Yes.
We'll fix it.
Yeah.
We'll be back. We'll be back shortly while we get Jeff's mic fixed, and we're going to prison. Yay! Yay! All right.
I'm not.
Am I a robot?
Oh my goodness. Silky smooth.
All of the chewing gum and shoelaces that we're holding this show together with are working again, everybody. I appreciate all of you hanging around.
It's the Chrono Dragon. He's sneaking back in there, whether you like it or not.
It was actually me. It was actually me trying to buy us time to figure out what we're gonna say to get ourselves out of this.
How that works. While we were gone, the Force War only got more bonkers. I can't even handle it. You all are the most incredible supportive group. This is like,
Guys.
Okay, I gotta tell you, potatoes. That's Wild Man with number 3 of the night. Emotional Reserve with numbers 2 and 3 for the night. Goofus McDorkle with number 3 of the night.
Nice.
And that guy named Rodney jumping in on the fun as well. Incredible. But y'all are coming up against Changebox.
Yeah.
And Changebox had his Wheaties. Changebox with Evil Yams 13, 14, 15, and 16.
What?
16 yams in one night.
What?
That is a lot of yams.
It's got to be a record.
Honestly, I'm blown away.
That is some sort of yam explosion.
Making me weepy.
Question. Can we use this support to tell Persa Samuels that we listening to?
Are you kidding me?
And we
at this point, Changebox is Persa Samuels.
Changebox is the Ashen Mage. Clearly. So the update on the war is that we are at Team Force of Good at 47%, Team Force of Evil at 53%.
Wow.
Dang.
Wow.
All that,
Dang.
and they raised
Wow.
2%. That was all that.
Bravo.
The Force of Good got
Extraordinary.
2%.
Bravo to
Extraordinary
all of you.
back and forth.
No matter what, bravo.
Extraordinary back and forth.
Changebox,
All right.
can I offer you something to like switch sides? Like, I'll write a poem about you or something. Like anything. Well, you just tell me. Message me in Discord.
Team Force of Evil does not mess around.
Nope.
Does not mess around.
Wow.
So as I was saying before, I became a robot.
So we're in prison.
You are being marched into prison and down these kind of murky, dank corridors with doors that have bars on them. There are strange sounds coming from some of the doors. And then you round a corner and you see actual full barred walls, a full jail wall. And there are figures kind of slumped in the back in a couple of them. You make your way around that corner and you kind of feel like you are in the back of this prison. And Fahima, in a collar, you are pushed into a very cramped, maybe not even 10 feet wide cell. The doors clang.
By myself?
Shut. Yes, by yourself. James, you are slammed into a different one. You can't even see Fahima. And then Lily, you are slammed into a cell of your own across the way. You can see, if you press your face up against the bars, you can kind of see kitty corner to where James is, and Fahima is even farther down that direction. But directly in front of you, across this little way, you're in a cell here, and the cell directly across from you, you hear, "Friends! I did not think this what you meant when you said you were coming to see me."
We didn't either. Hi.
Welcome to prison.
You look great, Jorl. Honestly.
Oh, thank you. I have lost a lot of weight in here.
Wow.
I am lean and svelte and hungry, mostly very hungry.
Well, we're here to
meals
join
are
you.
few and far between. And when they do come, they often taste like rat feces. But that is only because they mostly are rat feces.
Right.
Hey, okay.
Life is pain.
Right. Jorl,
Thanks for the update, Jorl. Thank you. We're really going to try hard, Jorl, for us not to be here very much longer.
And
I have been in here 47 days.
47
Can you see from where you are? I marked each day on the wall.
Wow.
Yes. You may be wondering how I did this.
Yes,
How?
yeah.
It is with a tooth. My own teeth.
Oh,
yes. Each one that
wow.
falls out is like a tiny gift from my mouth.
Jorl,
What a great way to look at it, Jorl.
You
Life
seem to
is
be good
pain.
spirits. Can we just
Oh, I hear
apologize?
other of your friends. Are they? Lily, you can see him pressing his face.
Oh,
Are you
yes.
there?
Fahima's here, as well as James.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Oh, everybody has gone to prison.
Yes.
Jorl, it's our fault that you're here. We're sorry. You seem to be in good spirits, but
Oh, yes, it has been monotonous, mind-numbingly bland. So seeing you has livened things up quite a bit.
Have you heard from your family?
No, maybe I told you. My wife left me. Yes.
Yes.
You know, I have not seen her in, and he looks at the scratches on the wall, quite a while.
Oh my god.
Well, Jorl, we're gonna try and change that. Like I said, we just how often do they come down to see you?
Very rarely. Yes, it is sometimes to give me food, which happens not every day, but some days.
Okay.
And the food, as I told you, is mostly rat feces.
Right. It's rat faces.
Right. Good
Yes.
to know. Thank you. We've it's good to know.
I have been
for
coughing up
expectations.
blood.
Oh wow.
The mere act of breathing hurts.
Oh god.
Yes, sometimes
Okay.
I hold my breath just to make the pain stop.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
But of course, I have to breathe again. Life
Jeff?
is pain.
Jeff, did they take all the stuff off of us, or do we still have like our healing potions and stuff?
god.
They haven't done any kind of. I mean, there was a sort of a cursory look for weapons, but they haven't removed anything. I mean, you guys gave Civ most of the stuff you were holding, right?
We did a lot of it, not
Yeah.
everything.
I think I have
Okay.
a healing potion. How far away is Jorl from me?
He's like, I don't know, 20 feet across the room. You're in a cell, 20 feet, other cell.
Are you gonna try to throw a healing potion?
I feel like it would break.
So,
Roll it.
It would
Roll
break.
it, baby.
I know. I'm just
20
that's-
feet?
20 feet in a bottle is very hard to roll straight.
Yeah,
Right.
It's a
don't,
bad.
Good.
It's
Good
a
point.
bad.
Good point.
That's a bad use of it.
yeah,
Okay.
don't do that.
But thank you.
Jorl, what?
Guys,
What-
I have to tell you about the potato situation. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Sorry. It's one of those episodes. Goofus
The name of this
McDorkle.
episode is Potato Situation.
Yeah. Robot voiced potato situation. Goofus McDorkle with gold potatoes 4 and 5.
Incredible, Goofus. Thank
Wow.
you.
Change box, however,
Yeah.
with evil yams 17, 18,
Oh,
What?
man.
19, and 20.
What?
Yeah, he
Change
wants
box.
to solidify it. He wants
Full-
to scare
the
off
full
the challengers.
20. The full 20.
Cow.
Team Force of Evil at 55%.
Change
Team
box,
Force
can
of
you
Good.
make sure that you don't have something resting on your buy potato button? Breathing like a repurchase.
Change box is trapped under something and can only touch the body.
He's like, I didn't do this.
All right.
Fahima wants to start to test the bounds of this magic neck brace. What I'm hoping, she's gonna try to do a minor conjuration. What she's hoping is that it prevents against spells specifically, and not all magical effects.
Because a minor conjuration is not a spell?
Correct. It is just a wizardly magical, but it's just it's an action. It's not a spell.
Well, no, I mean, the way the collar works is that it severs the connection to the arcane weave, right? So you are unable to access any kind of magical.
Okay, so she just looks constipated.
So you all right over there, Fahima?
It's trying to just conjure a piece of rope, but it's not working.
Okay.
Did you
So-
have a plan?
Yeah, Jorl. We found the person who murdered the wizard that we were wanted for. So, in theory, we should be able to get you out of here. We've cleared your names for murder and yours as well, I assume, for knowing us.
How's that working out?
Not great so far, but the day's not over yet.
I'm sure it will only get worse from here.
Thank you. Yes.
Life is pain. Luckily, you asked about my wife, Jara. I'm so happy. You know, she has probably gone to her brother's. And that is giving me some sense of satisfaction because I only want her and the children to be safe and happy. And her brother has a very stable business. He owns the inn at the Gentle Oak in Kippelturn. Perhaps you've heard of it.
We have. It sounds nice.
When did she go there?
Right about the time that I was sent to the moratorium. Or
sent out of the city.
Shantytown, yes.
Oh. Well, we'll have to look into that.
At least they are safe and prosperous.
Yes.
Yes.
Jara and your brother in Kippelturn.
Her brother, yes.
Oh, her brother, yes. Oh boy. Oh boy. It's gonna be okay.
Is there any guards or anything down here, Jeff?
Jeff, I hate you.
What did Jorl do to you, Jeff? Why? You twisted man.
He also has a vacation place at Whitebeard's Jetty.
No. He's got a timeshare on Sky Scorcher Peak.
And he owns stock in the Krusty Station or whatever it was.
That's right.
The crab place.
Oh my god.
Small investment.
So you do hear movement. So if you can imagine, you are in cells that are, again, Lily, across from you is the Jorl cell. And then kitty corner to you is James. And next to James is Fahima. And it is sort of this grouping of cells that's down a bit of a hallway. And then around, farther down, there were cells that you passed with other people in them. And then it sort of curves around and it does like a U shape and goes back down the hallway toward where you entered. And that little section, you can hear footsteps patrolling, a guard patrolling. It's the guards dumped you in here and they've kind of left you alone, but there is definitely a guard kind of patrolling the area. And there were a number of guards that you passed as you made your way toward this cell.
Okay.
Hey.
Fahima puts her hands up on the wall and closes her eyes and reaches out to Meep, because if she's within 1 mile of Fahima, then they can communicate telepathically.
Okay, 1 mile.
Which I figure she would be if she was still
I'll say that Civ and Uggo are still within 1 mile. I mean, they're heading kind of the opposite direction back to, or not opposite direction, but away from you to Nightstone. But let's say the timing works out and Meep is still within 1 mile.
Oh, so I'm reading her sheet here. Baby Phoenix, I can sense what she senses as long as they're within 1 mile of each other, but the limited telepathy, I think. That is the telepathy.
She's not a baby at this, but because she was reborn at full size. Or not full size, but at medium size. Right, that's just the name of the creature. Okay. Sorry,
got it. I'm speaking incorrectly here. So she should be able to use this limited telepathy. Okay. So she's gonna send an image, kind of a map of her vision of the way that they went down into the cell, so that Meep kind of has a rough blueprint of where they're located.
Wait, what?
She's sending Fahima's vision.
She's with Civ and Uggo, right?
Yeah, so she's communicating to Meep kind of a rough blueprint of how they got down to.
Oh,
the
I
jail.
see. I thought you meant Meep was communicating to you.
Sorry.
Fahima is trying to communicate telepathically. But is it a two-way street? I thought it was only a one-way street from the bird. I thought the bird could communicate telepathically with you. I could be wrong on that, though. What does it say?
Well, with Mr. Whispers, it's back and forth.
Oh yeah, I think you're right actually, because it does say on the sheet, Phoenix can magically communicate simple ideas, emotion, and images. I think I was going off of the regular familiar rules, but
Right. So I'll buy that.
Yeah.
That you can receive a message from Meep that sort of gives you a sense that she is with Civ and Ugo, and they are moving. I think you could probably get a sense that they are moving in the direction that you might recognize as being toward Nightstone.
Lots of rubbing.
Lots of rubbing of charcoal.
You might get
They're
a
petting
weird
me a lot.
sensation.
I don't get it. I don't understand. Why are they
Get
petting
up.
me so much?
Get up.
Yeah.
James will try to call out to one of the guards. Hello? Hello?
Quiet.
Sir?
Quiet in there.
No, sir, this is of most urgency. The demons that are attacking the city, we know something about them. We need to speak to the Chief Regent. You can't just leave us down here.
I can leave you down here. I can't leave you down here, he says. Oh, that's rich. That's rich.
Then the demons will tear your intestines out first.
No response. I have tried speaking to them as well. They are delightful conversationalists in that they let me do all the talking.
Excuse me, sir. Guard,
Quiet, I said.
listen, I know this probably isn't the best shift. Being in the dungeon, I mean, you're not in the cage, but you're basically down here with us, aren't you? Very little respect. Just guarding people already in cages, so there's not really much guarding to do. You're basically a babysitter at this point.
And you're the baby.
Gladly. But if you don't ever take control of your position, do you think you'll ever get promoted?
You think that I'm gonna let a prisoner talk to me about promotions?
I'm just making conversation. We're all down here together.
I told you to be quiet.
Well, I'm just
Be
asking.
quiet, or I'll sick the hounds on you.
He'll do it too. Look, my leg. It has not healed. It has not. Leg is pain.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm just saying we have lots of information, and I'd be happy to let you give some of it to Persa.
You hear footsteps walk away from your position. And time seems to stretch along. Jorl speaks to you a bit. And eventually, as you're sitting there in the cages, unable to cast magic, unable to do much other than talk at each other, eventually you hear sound of footsteps approaching again, multiple footsteps. And as you look through the sort of the dimly lit, dank prison bars, through the bars into the dimly lit prison, you see that tall woman again. That bright, polished armor. She stands out even more in this sort of sad, dirty place. Her hair tied up in a tight silver bun. She walks around the corner and she looks at each of you in your cells. And we check in with Civ and Ugo, who are arriving by this point back at Nightstone Abbey and are able to get back into the building. At this point, a protocol has been reached that you are able to sort of get in and out of here through the permission of Nance and Fesh and some of the guards that you've that have seen you leave and come now in these disguises. They perhaps take a second look at the charcoal chicken that you're carrying with you, but you're able to get back inside Nightstone and make your way, I'm assuming, back to Fesh's office.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Beelining it right to him.
Yeah.
Knocking on the door.
You knock on the door?
Yep.
You hear, come.
Open the door, walk inside. I don't say anything at first. I just walk in and set Meep right on top of his desk. And I just stare at him.
He looks up.
I take it your endeavor was not successful?
Your son is in prison.
My what?
It is your...
James, your boy, guess not your son, your
He is not
ward.
blood relation.
I'll go.
You took care of him like a dad.
I'll go. Let me
What?
talk. Let me talk. Now is your time. Now is your time to prove yourself. To see what you are made of. To see if you actually care about the people that you say you care about. They are in prison because of the moratorium. And you know the moratorium is a lie. James is in prison. Fahima is in prison. And I lean in on the desk, and Lily is in prison. So you need to go down there. And you need to say what needs to be done. You need to speak on their behalf. You need to stretch your neck out across the guillotine's blade and risk. Because we have risked it all for this city that cares nothing for its people. It cares nothing for the people that built it, that make it a city. So I'm going to give you this chance.
I understand you're upset.
You have no idea how I feel right now. You have no idea.
I will happily do all I can, but I think you overestimate my ability to persuade our Chief Regent.
Well, then you are going to have to get creative.
I intend to do just that.
Is this Plan C time?
Not yet.
Oh.
First, we will let him talk. And if that does not work, then it is Plan C.
Okay.
Torvald and I have been speaking, and he informs me that you may have connections. You may have other notable people that you know, that you have perhaps helped, that have seen how magic has been helpful to both them and the greater good.
Are you talking about the Duke of Winkberg?
That's what I suggested.
Good idea.
I do think that Persta may be persuaded. Winkberg is a notable trade hub, one that is vital to the prosperity of our city. And while my pleas may fall on deaf ears, she is nothing if not pragmatic when it comes to the safety and well-being of the city.
I wonder what she would do if the demons got inside again. Because my friend and I can make that happen. And your people will suffer.
No, I will
I'll
not
go.
do that.
I'll go.
What? You can speak for me when I say it's okay. That is not okay. I am not bringing demons here to make a point.
I think you will find that with Persta Samuels, threats will not get you far. She is adamant, she is strident, and she is certain in her beliefs. But her beliefs center around one central precept, and that is the safety and security of her people. If you can convince her that magic will make the town safer, then outlawing it would, or has.
I find it odd that my friend has already done this, and yet it has not convinced her at all. We use magic to protect this city. We beat back the demons at the North Wall. He used a dream spell to convince her of this, and yet she does not care. She makes up this law so that she can beat down the people that are underneath her, so that she can rule with an iron fist.
You're
That is
telling me
exactly
you
what
would-
they did in Osvach, and the people suffer. And I am tired of hiding behind these rules that are only made up to protect the rich and powerful. Everyone else suffers. I'm tired of it.
With all
And
due
if you will not
respect,
do anything, then I will go and tell her that you have been harboring us, which is also the truth. Correct, Ugo?
That is the truth,
Who
yes.
has also been breaking the law. I wonder what she will think of you then.
And then we're in the same boat.
Shiv, we are on the same side, I promise you.
I do not feel that you are on my side. I
With
do
all
not
due
feel
respect.
it. I do not believe it. Prove it. Prove you are on our side.
I believe I have done everything asked of me.
Did you say anything when they were being slaughtered? No.
I have already told you I should have done more. But there are certain things that happen, and
Yes, I
I
heard
assume
these
you have never
excuses
made
before.
mistakes.
I have
assume
made
you
a lot
never-
of mistakes. I have made more mistakes than I can count. But I know when I make a mistake. And I
Siv.
admit to it, and I try to fix it.
Civ,
Have I not admitted? Have I not done everything in my power to fix it? I put myself at great risk by harboring you and your friends and assisting in every way I can. Your assumption that Persta would dream a scenario and change her mind. How many times have you changed everything you believe in based on one night's sleep?
So you are saying that we wasted our time with her, and that there is no way to change her mind.
I
That
am
is what you're
saying
saying.
you are naive.
that is the truth.
I have done not enough. But I have done what I have power to do. If I had run out there, perhaps I would have been slaughtered as well. If I had ushered them in, perhaps I would have not been able to help you further.
This doesn't help us at all. If I may say. Fighting amongst ourselves is not the way to solve this problem.
He is not doing anything, Ugo. He is sitting behind his desk.
Civ, we have been here. We have been protected from outside. It is foolish for you to say he has done nothing. You're right. He has not done enough. I agree with you. But neither have we.
We have risked our lives.
We are
my
here
friend.
now. Where were you when she was taken? Facing the joint,
I was
as you
not
said.
inside because
I
I knew
understand.
she was going to do that.
Again.
I knew she was going to do that.
Why do you
no,
think
you
I'm
listen.
here?
You listen. This is exactly what happens in Osvach. This is the exact same thing. I knew you were going to get arrested. You knew it. That's why you took the belt. That's
Yes.
why you escaped. So do not lie to me,
I
orc.
am not. I am not lying to you. I am resisting you. Our friends are in danger. I understand you are upset. I am also upset. But you will notice I am not the one yelling now. You are.
You were yelling but a moment ago.
I was only yelling at you to get your attention. To match your energy.
What do you
This-
suggest, Ugo?
I suggest that we stop treating these individuals who are helping us like they are the same as her. You may think they are, but that is your foolishness. I don't like the situation we're in. But we need to work together to solve it. And stabbing your friends while they're looking at you is not the way to do it. With words, I mean. You have every right to be angry. Your anger is valid. But let's focus the energy in the proper direction. Now, you made a very good point, Hermo, about Duke. And you of all people, Civ, have a special relationship with Duke and others of Winkberg.
How long is it going to take him to get here?
I assume that Torvald can open portals wherever he wishes.
The Duke often arrives by portal for official business. We have a teleportation circle that I believe you have already observed.
That is magic. Magic is illegal.
And
Indeed
now
it
you're...
is.
Do you want them to do things or not? They are offering to help, including magic. Is that not enough to prove to you that they are willing to stick out their neck?
Can you get the Duke here? Can you do this?
We need to get a message to the Duke.
Well, that would have been James's job, and James has a collar around his neck.
Well, perhaps we can get you back into the prison. As I mentioned, Nightstone mages are in charge of detecting magic within that facility.
Yes. and one of
Nightstone
them-
mages that I believe I still have some respect from.
Jeff Uggos describes the mage that he saw in the portcullis area. He gave us up.
Yes, as was his duty.
Yes.
But I believe that if we could somehow get a message to those mages from me, if you could indicate to them that you come on my behalf, or if I, in fact, join you, they may listen to me in ways they would not for you. Again, I am willing to do all I can to help your cause. But and I frankly am scared.
I believe that's what you are also sensing in us, although it manifests as anger. I cannot ask you. I cannot force you to stick your neck out, Hermo. But I believe that the message coming straight from your face is needed.
I know that you believe Persta to be everything wrong with this city.
Please stop telling me what I think. It does not help.
I assure you, she is a reasonable leader
Yes.
whose only intent is to protect the people under her charge.
Yes, I have heard this before.
You must understand his doubt. I have it myself.
I wonder what you would suggest that we do if words fall on deaf ears. What would you do?
We at the Natural Order have taken a vow.
Yes.
We are pacifists, as you well know. I, for all your bluster, would ask what it is you would wish me to do. Run in,
They are
cast
not going
magic
to listen
missile
to
on her.
James. They are not going to listen to Fahima, and they are not going to listen to Lily. they will listen to you. You have not broken the law. They have. She trusts you, no?
She does, which is why I have endeavored to maintain that trust.
Then it is time to use that trust, to bend her ear, to be your best charismatic self. Buy them time, so that we can get the Duke here. So that we can use magic to get the Duke here. Give us that time, and I promise you that I will not do the things that I said. But if you think for a second that they were bluster, you do not know me. You do not know where I am from. And you certainly don't know what I am capable of.
Torvald believes you and the other three of you are our best hope. I do not see much hope in front of me right now.
Because we are not your hope. Stop putting that on my shoulders. If I rise to it myself, that is my choice. I do not like the things I see. But the people of this world need to understand that they are powerful. Orcs of Thorn now know. Uggo showed them. It is Uggo's intent to show the rest of Ain that they contain the same power. Now, I don't know what happened hundreds of years ago, but I can say with full confidence that I understand where the Ashen Mage is coming from, if what I have been told is true.
You see Torvald look at you with surprise.
Knowledge was
just
stolen from these people, from me,
Uggo.
from my family.
Uggo.
Save, you had your time. It is my turn now.
They are not going to listen to this.
This is fine. I need to say it. It is for Uggo. Stop lying to Ain. Tell them what has happened. Show
What they
them.
are trying to do.
Yes, I'm glad that you are trying to do that. It's the first time I've heard you say it out loud. You're so secretive, all of you. Oh, we must maintain our natural state. We could not ever. Oh, how dare we? Time is done for that. Make choices. Stop being neutral. Now, Uggo has said what he said.
We are just people.
Yes.
We will try to be the heroes that you want us to be, but in the end, we're just people.
Perhaps the amulet was wrong to choose you.
What
Meanwhile,
is the amulet?
In the prison,
How long did it take for your first tooth to fall out?
not long at all. I have to admit, in Shantytown, my oral hygiene was not excellent.
Okay, so you came in with a head start.
Quiet, you.
Persta's right here, right?
Yes, she's standing right there.
Madam,
Well, can we see her? Has she said anything?
She's standing outside your eyesight, but you see a tall shadow from the torchlight in the prison. She seems to be flanked by two guards, one of whom just said quiet.
have you been able to subdue Beale?
Quite easily.
Have you been able
He's
to question him?
stuck in the ground.
Has he admitted to his crimes again in front of you?
No. But A number of my trusted personnel recounted his confession.
I have the list of names if you want it.
I do.
It was very detailed.
I'll take out the list of names and put it through the bars. My
A
lord.
guard comes over and snatches it.
This does match the report that I received from my soldiers.
We have very powerful enemies who wanted us subdued and basically out of their hair, and Audric Lucerne was put in the middle of that. I regret what happened to him. He and I were not the best of friends, but no one deserves what happened to him. And my friend did speak in anger to him, but we did not hurt him. That man Beale, informed and paid by our enemies, did that horrible thing.
If I may, we are here because we broke the law. Because there's a moratorium on magic and we used it several times. I'm willing to stay in this jail for as long as it takes to convince you that we're here to fight for what is right. And I don't know what your fight is for, but I believe that it is the duty of those in power to protect the innocent. And that is our only goal. To eradicate the demons, to end the suffering of people in this city. If we stood by and let the demons with their cruelty and their brutality kill scores of people, what does it say about us? That is our only goal here.
I understand that the moratorium was put in place to protect your citizens. I do. But you've removed the ability of good citizens to help and to rise above their own instances, their own unfortunate circumstances.
It was not our intent to defy the law. It never is. But even you, the upholder of the law, must understand that sometimes people come along who need to defy the rules, who need to defy those in power in order to bring about change.
The dream... I apologize. I apologize for the dream. But I need to make sure that...
James, she doesn't know about the dream.
She already asked. She asked, did you invade
And I said no, and she said okay.
You believe me? Yeah.
She believed me.
Yeah.
Oops. Oops. Wish I had gift of gab right now.
My people are in the process of corroborating as much of the information that brute admitted to as possible.
How long will that take?
As long as it takes.
But my understanding is not that we're here because of this one instance. It's because we've defied the law multiple times now. There's a moratorium on magic, and there was a moratorium before we even arrived.
You were wanted for murder. But I am not pleased that you also broke the law, broke the moratorium. These are separate, but both grievous crimes.
Why did you enact the moratorium in the first place?
For the safety of the people of Terlis.
And when you heard the reports of the five of us protecting the city with magic, being the only thing standing between the north wall and a horde of demons, what do you
Endless
think
demons.
What do you think we were doing? Does that not give you pause?
It does.
Good. It should.
My brave guards were overrun. The fact that you stepped in and beat back that invasion is not without merit.
I have
But
no
I
doubt.
I have seen the wanton violence and destruction that magic is capable of. I ask you, each of you, magic users, how many of the spells you have committed to memory exist for one purpose and one purpose only? To destroy, to harm, to kill. How many?
Are you asking all of us?
Yes.
Because most of mine aren't.
It's true.
Most of mine are disguise. Or
Healing?
healing.
Communication.
I understand what you're saying, though, Persa, and I understand that it probably doesn't feel great to have 3 people come and say this moratorium is wrong, because I do think you have points. You have valid points. There's a lot of bad that magic can do. That's not without merit, and that's not untrue, unfortunately. But the problem is, with what we've seen and what we're trying to tell you, is that what we're dealing with, the only way to deal with it is with magic. If we had not fought back those demons with magic, we would all be dead. There was no possible way for us to beat them with melee alone.
And the greater point that we're really finding here as we travel across Iron, meeting people from all the different cities, is that the other side has magic, and the other side has convinced a lot of people that they shouldn't use magic or science, and that leaves people defenseless.
The demons won't stop. They're not done.
And you can't bring fists to a fight with swords and mauls. You just can't.
It's not an easy job. I understand, and I sympathize. Magic can be used for evil. Yes, it absolutely can. But it can also be used for growth and connection and bringing people together. You must have heard my voice in your head the day that we saved Bingle and we drove monsters back into the ocean that had invaded and destroyed the island. And we used magic that day to secure the village, to save the people, and to let the rest of the world know that it was safe.
Come if you're able, and rebuild.
Correct.
And
I sent
Go ahead, sorry, I'm so
a
sorry.
group from Terlis for that very purpose,
Thank you.
heeding the call.
You did? My
Indeed, I
family
did.
thanks you, and if you're there, please stop in Bingle and loving it, and tell your crew that they can eat on Bingle. We very much appreciate it. I just want to say one more thing. You say magic is, the purpose of it is to harm and to hurt. And while sometimes that is true, if you have guards who are armed with swords and weapons, what purpose are those? What purpose are guards who fight and protect? With metal and steel and arrows? What is the difference?
Abstinence is not diplomacy.
As one who has never had a proclivity for magic, I find its unpredictability worrisome.
I understand that.
It's understandable. Yes.
All 3 of you roll me persuasion check, a group persuasion check. James, you have advantage from Liam draws.
Liam.
Bahima, you have advantage from Beard Me Strength. And Lily, you have advantage from Fail Waffle's Guardian Angel.
23.
17.
26.
Oh, and now I'm up to 7, by the way.
Oh shoot, yeah. I'm up to
Oh gosh, scary.
5.
Yeah, 26.
You make a strong case for the protection of this city, and indeed, this world. It has become clear that the dangers we face are greater than they had been even months ago.
Yes.
Terlis is not stronger for its isolation. I will think on these things and return with a decision.
It is my understanding that he, and I'll point towards Jorl, was only imprisoned for knowing us, for that we were wanted for murder. I trust once you have the evidence that Beale was the true killer of Aldrich Lucerne, he will be released.
If it is the case that he did not aid and abet murderers, then indeed there will be no reason to keep him prisoner.
Thank you.
He will be released, and Terlis will be compensating him for a grievous error.
Thank you.
I'm not trying to push our luck, truly, but it maybe would be possible for us to have some dinner, and preferably not rat feces. I'm allergic.
She turns to one of the guards.
Have any of these prisoners been eating rat feces?
Not intentionally, Chief Regent. Not intentionally. Sometimes the storeroom gets neglected.
It will not be neglected any longer, will it?
No, Chief Regent, no, it will not.
And you will see to it that these prisoners and all the prisoners in this building are fed a meal suitable for you. In fact, I believe your rations tonight will go to these prisoners. Yes, Chief Regent, my rations. Perhaps, if you'd like to eat tonight, you'll eat whatever's in the storeroom.
Yes, Chief Regent. She turns and walks away.
Okay.
Back to Civ and Ugo. You stand there as Torvald indicates doubt for the first time at seeing you and your team.
Civ, you're muted, Ron. Civ pulls Ugo to the side, and we have a very heated conversation. Yeah.
Torvald,
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know what the amulet is. I have no idea what powers it. Who's watching? No clue. Do you?
I do not.
Then why do you put your trust in it? That is not an accusation. I want to know.
Because it is tied to the wardens, and They are.
Okay.
Who
How do
has
you know the
protected us.
wardens have our best interest at heart?
They have been the protection of the realms for centuries.
From what?
Whatever has threatened us.
Can you give me examples?
I believe Hermold read you or recounted an example just earlier today.
Yes, but that is the one? The point I am making is, I am skeptical of it. I'm skeptical of it. I've been around it when it goes off. You aren't. It isn't always good. Sometimes it makes my job harder, much harder. Can you explain that to me? Why something that is designed to protect us does that?
I cannot.
Exactly. So please do not tell me that you doubt whether I've been chosen or not. I have sacrificed more than you know for Ein. So please do not insult me with I have not chosen, or I am not worthy. I am here because you told me to be. And I felt it, and I followed it. Know your enemy. Stop treating them like they are some evil thing that cannot be understood. The Ashen Mage is a person. They have a viewpoint. I'm not saying it is correct. Never am I saying that. What I'm saying is, we should understand it before we try to solve it. And right now, I understand nothing, other than my friends are in prison, and you all talk about remaining neutral, for the very people that you helped choose. So please forgive me if my anger rises in this moment.
You mistake me. No one here, no member of the natural order, remains neutral. The only person that I've met in your presence that has remained neutral was Lesliana.
I changed that. I helped change that. She changed.
I think that is a benefit to all of us.
Yes.
Her intellect will be a great boon to our cause.
I agree. It
But
was
we
a
do
boon
not-
to Ugo.
We do not remain neutral in this. Quite the opposite.
That
We
is
have
why-
at great risk to ourselves.
That is why we came here, Torvald. Because we knew we could trust you.
I do
We
not
knew this-
understand. I do not understand any of this. You tell me. You tell me you doubt your purpose. You tell me
What Ugo is trying to say is
You
that
have
he can
free will.
see their point of view, which makes sense because if you are fighting someone and you want to know why they are fighting and you want them to stop, if you remove the reason why they are fighting, they will stop. I have seen it between the orcs and the dwarves. I've seen it.
It is also important to understand that those who oppose you do not believe that they are in the wrong. Those who oppose you see their own viewpoints and make their own reasons for the things that they do. That is not to say that they are correct or that their viewpoint is correct. It is only to say, if you want to effectively fight an enemy, you must know why they fight. I understand why she fights. She has told us.
I'm nodding through all of this.
we have done
Yes.
everything in our power to understand more.
I am not saying, I am sorry.
You have
I'm
free
clearly-
will. You always
Yes.
have free will. Do as you choose. It seems the amulet and the gods behind it believe in you. It seems they choose at times to challenge you. This is not something that I am responsible for.
Now you
If you
misunderstand.
rage against the gods, that is your purview and your choice.
Yes.
But
I
do not
follow
lay it
one.
at the feet of the natural order.
I am not. Just as you are laying that maybe we were chosen wrong at my feet, I do not think that. I am only saying, stop putting the Ashen Mage on a pedestal.
I believe we need to move forward and figure out what is next. Your friends are imprisoned, and we are at your disposal. Civ, if you would like me to march headlong into Pastor Samuel's bunker and declare myself an enemy of hers, I will do so.
That is not what I said. I think they need someone to speak on their behalf. That is all I was asking you to do. Persta does not seem to be the kind of person, and I'm saying this not knowing the scene that just happened, she does not seem the kind of person that listens to anyone. She just judges people. She looks at them and she says, you broke the law, you are in the wrong, you will go to prison. Everything is very black and white. But I think she will listen to you. I know she will listen to you. You are an important person in the city.
I have told you time and again that I have tried, but I will do whatever you ask of me.
Try again.
I have an idea.
So we walk outside the safety of Nightstone, and we walk into Persta Samuel's barracks.
If you
And
think
we asked
going
for your
to her
friends to
place
be
is
released.
dangerous, then we should have never gone there in the first place. Correct?
These are decisions you made.
I see.
You tell me what to do and I will do it.
I have already said it. I want you to go, and I want you to speak on their behalf. And Torvald, I would like your help to try to get the Duke here, even if that means casting magic in the middle of the city. If you don't want to do that because you are afraid of getting thrown in jail, fine. I will find another way.
So be it. The natural order is at your disposal,
Thank you.
as it has always been.
Thank you.
Yes.
Fesh stands up, walks over to the wardrobe that you had once hidden in not too long ago, opens it, pulls out a cloak, puts it on his shoulders, opens the door, and walks out.
So do I go with him?
You will
As
just get
peace
arrested.
offering? Yes.
If you wish, if that's what you want to do.
I am not. I'm asking for advice, Civ.
I don't think there is any point in you getting arrested as well, but I also understand your guilt at leaving them behind. So I'm not going to tell you what to do. If I was you, I would not go because I think you are going to be a bigger help on the outside.
You speak well, friend. Torvald, I apologize
Yeah.
There's no
if I have upset you.
We are in dark times.
You have also only ever shown Uggo kindness. So I again apologize. This is
There
very
was-
difficult.
There was a time, as I remember, when I first came into contact with the five of you. When there was one notion that I believe our blue-skinned friend reiterated. Trust. I fear, as the demons have invaded the land, that notion has suffered. But perhaps together we can reclaim it.
That is what Uggo hopes and dreams. And he hopes to serve the Candle Queen in such a way
that is restored. Sorry, it appears that I did not trust you. I do. I would not have faced the demons that I have faced to save you.
Skepticism is healthy, Ago. And you are correct in everything you have pointed out. We do not know the gods behind the amulet. We do not know what they truly think or feel. We do not know its origins. And we do not know what has brought us to this place. But the natural order exists for one reason and one reason only. To discover that truth. To reclaim that knowledge. And to bring that truth back
to the light. Yes. That is what Uggo wishes.
Indeed, the light. Uggo. Have you seen the symbol of the natural order? On my collar, you see it now.
Yes.
What do you see?
Jeff, can you describe it for me again?
It's the 3 hoops.
Hoops with the teardrops shape beneath them.
It is 3 hoops with the teardrop shapes beneath them.
Yes. What image do those hoops make? Not the archers themselves, but the negative space. The space empty.
I'm the visual person.
Wish I had the visual to give you, but I don't.
I know, I wish. Let me, maybe
Did not expect this to happen.
Maybe
tonight.
it's on the wiki.
It is definitely on the wiki.
Then I'll pull up the wiki.
If you,
for those of you,
I know what he's getting at. I mean, Jared knows. I don't know if Civ knows, but
everybody, shut up. Just let Jeff talk.
Yeah. let Jeff show how ignorant Ron is about this. Come on.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's so good. It's beautiful.
It's not working for you. Nice
try, Jess.
I think I can find it. Hang on a second.
It's gold. It's like arches.
It's the light radiating out.
I see it now. Yes, I see it now. Wait a minute. The negative spaces look like arches.
Or you see a teardrop.
I do.
I see a candle's flame.
A candle flame that never flickers.
A light in the darkness. It is all the natural order has ever searched for. A light in the darkness.
I legit just got chills. I just now putting that together.
That's where we're in tonight. But I do want to find it.
I put it
is on the.
in chat.
Yeah, it's on the wiki. Thank you, all of those who've done so much work on the wiki. It's awesome. Thank you.
Okay, fine. All right, hang on.
Morgan or Ron just put it in a better link in chat than I did.
I am going to put it in the map room real quick so we can put it up for anybody watching. Hang on. As I said, did not expect this to happen tonight.
Interesting.
If you can give me 1 second.
Jeff's been holding out on us.
Oh, Jeff.
All right.
You sure we can't go 3 more hours?
So, if you look at this, what you really see is sort of a smashed, flat 2D version of a hole or a tunnel or perhaps some deep, dark place.
Whoa.
As if there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. And a candle's flame
Is what that light is.
flickering at the end of that tunnel.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You made that.
Especially when the flame stands for truth.
That was from episode 1.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. Incredible.
Oh
Yep.
my God.
That's incredible.
All right. So that's where we're going to end tonight. But you know that we don't end the show without thanking our patrons. We have but also, my goodness, I can't even.
We have a ton of potatoes.
We got potatoes.
A ridiculous amount of
It's like,
potatoes.
I can't even handle the potatoes. Okay. Last call for potatoes, by the way. This Force War, last call. Okay. Get them in now because I'm about to read them and we're going to have to cut it off. This Force War has been one for the ages. We have potatoes from Emotional Reserve. Number 4, number 5, number 6, and number 7 from Emotional Reserve. We have a potato from Your Past Decisions.
Yay.
Oh my
No,
God.
wait, 2 potatoes, 3 potatoes from Your Past Decisions.
Oh my goodness, guys.
We have Goofus McDorkle's 6th and 7th potato.
Wow. Wow.
Oh,
Guys,
oh my
thank you
God.
And we
so
have
much.
Yams from Changebox. Yam number 21, 22, 23, and 24.
Oh,
Gotta be a record. That's gotta be a record.
goodness.
Oh my God.
It's
Oh my
kind
goodness.
of hard for me to even wrap my head around.
Yeah.
We have balloons Citizen of Ein, 3 of them. We have Andrew Carter, Jay and Christian, Rob and Mates. All of this combines, as I said, last call, all this combines for Team Force of Good, 51%.
Oh my God.
Team Force of Evil, 49%.
Dude.
Look, I want to say I love all of you. I love every single one of you. Thank you.
This
Yeah.
is
Incredible.
insane.
Thank you.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
Changebox, I mean,
You must really love
unbelievable.
us.
But all of you, Emotional Reserve, Goofus McDorkle, Your Past Decisions, every single person that contributed tonight, it's just like, it's hard for us to express how grateful we are and how much it means to us that the show means that much to you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Possible.
Thank you so much.
And those of you who are just here watching, your presence is we are grateful for that as well. And your patronage, those of you who just watch our show Time Shifted on YouTube, we love you as well.
Yes.
If you would like to support the show, but financially you're not in a position to, just tell your friends.
Yes.
Tell your friends.
Share,
That helps.
please.
Maybe if you're listening on as a podcast, maybe write a podcast review of the show. That's helpful as well.
Mhm.
Just get the word out.
Join
We
the
are-
Discord.
Yes, join the Discord. That's a great
The
way
more
to do
you
it.
share our videos too on social media, you bump us up in the algorithm too.
Yeah, we appreciate
Worth
it.
its weight in gold.
For those of you that have found us on TikTok, I love you. Or found us from TikTok, you're amazing. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. So as I said,
my goodness.
patrons at a very high level, our Team Force of Good and Team Force of Evil tiers of patrons get their names read out at the end of the show, but we don't just read them out by rote. No. We have fun with it. In fact, patrons are able to suggest themes, styles by which we read them.
Woo!
And we have a couple tonight that I think are going to be real fun. We've got such good ones. This week, well, let me roll to see who's going to read the first one. In fact, I think I need 2 people for the first one.
Ooh.
1
That's me.
and 4.
That's me.
Ron's been getting a lot of it
Oh,
lately.
yeah.
Are you okay
After
with
having none,
Okay,
none,
okay,
I'm now,
fine.
yeah.
It evens
I'll roll
out.
for the
It
next
evens
one
out now, yeah.
The next one is 2 people as well. So really only
dice
one
decide,
person
baby.
sitting out. Okay, and this
Potatoes
works really
decide
well.
Ron.
This works beautifully thematically for what we've just witnessed.
Oh no.
Two
Ron
friends
and
arguing
Jared.
over sports.
This is submitted by Amra, and this is good cop, bad cop,
Oh
trying
man.
to get a confession.
Too
Oh, my
perfect.
All right.
Yes,
who's
love
good
it.
cop? Who's bad cop, Jared?
Oh, you know.
I think you just find it.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. All right. I mean, I think it's pretty clear who's the good cop and the bad cop in this situation.
This is Team Force of Good, correct? That's a list.
Yeah, Team Force of Good.
Okay.
All right. Look, Armando 89. We knew where you were last night. We had a tail on you. We had a bug in your house. We had a Hadrian X in your exhaust tailpipe. We had a Wilbro Jr. shoved so far up your butt, you didn't even know that we were there before you were there. And I want to know...
I am Mukau!
Hold on.
Sorry, I got heated. I already got heated.
Right.
I'm sorry.
It's
sorry.
all right.
He's the loose cannon.
It's all right. We want to know, where did you hide the Findoril?
Also the jewels. I just want to know just the jewels.
Yeah, where are they? What, no answer? You deaf all of a sudden? You can't hear us? You can't
Take these
speak?
kitty scratches.
That's right. Kitty scritches across your face all day long until we know what happened to the Gold family. Where are they? Huh?
You'll never get the jewels in the Fendoril out of me, Copper.
You tell me right now so I can say the dungeon run yay out loud and take it back to my captain.
Dungeon run, boo.
Oh, that's it. Go ahead. You know what?
The bad cop is literally holding a cat and like.
You know what? It's fine. Go ahead, Braba him. I want you to Braba him.
Wait.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No, I'm with this guy. Whoa.
I don't know what to tell you.
You want me to go full cold Kanda and braver this Bob Harris?
I mean, we need this information. We need to know where the Findoril is, right?
No, hang on. You don't need to pull out the Braba. Hang on.
Oh,
I mean, I can go full Mickey Wolf if you want.
I like that.
Or alternatively, just to go a different direction, I can go Pooh Monkey.
Whoa, hey, whoa!
I could see that. Or
listen, it's just Fendoril. There's no need for a
Monkey. Your past decisions are coming to haunt
That's
you.
right.
So you better shut your mouth.
They're coming back. They're coming back.
The cop from the other room that had handed you the cat comes in with a monkey and was like, "Did somebody say you wanted the monkey?"
I think we're okay with the kitty scritches for right now.
Sorry.
Keep it on standby.
Let me introduce some evidence. This is a beaker paw filled with Findoril.
Where did you get that?
We got
Dawn
that
Breaker
inside.
1990.
That's right. She sold you out.
Not Dawn.
She sold you out.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
She
decay.
wouldn't.
I decay. He decays. We all decay.
Everybody decays. One day, everyone's gonna decay.
That's right. We're not
Now,
Bob
here's the
Harris's.
question.
Yeah.
Are you a desert wanderer? Or are you a decay?
Yeah.
Because that's your choice. You can wander the desert for however many years they put you in desert prison, or you can decay.
If you break open the beaker bar,
Yeah.
inside the Just Jewels,
Yeah.
you'll find your Fendoril.
Thank you.
Dawn, I can't believe you did it to me.
I appreciate it.
Well done.
I appreciate that.
I believe that was bad cop and worse cop, though.
Yeah, I'm believing you both thought you were bad cops.
I couldn't tell. His decision sounded like it was bad cop, but it was
Just love you guys are like, I think it's pretty obvious who's who. And then I was like, I think they both think they're bad.
Bad cop and worse cop. Okay, I think it's only fair that the ladies do the next one.
It was like an episode of The Shield, Jeff's favorite show.
My favorite show. Best show ever. All right, this one for Katie Michaels and Jessica Lynn Parsons comes to us from Sitar,
Ooh.
who suggests that you do it as driver of a family of 6 at the Taco Bell drive-thru who's about to order for everyone.
Yikes.
So perhaps one of you is the driver and the other is the attendant at Taco Bell.
Oh no!
Talking through the.
Oh god.
Trying to take the order.
Oh, amazing.
Hello, welcome to Taco Bell. Can I take your order?
Hi. Okay, everybody.
One nachos.
No, okay, we are not down. We are not down to clown. We are not down to clown. We are in a public setting, basically. Okay, so everybody needs to hush, or you're not getting your tots or whatever they give you here.
Man, we don't allow J-rocking in the drive-thru.
I'm so sorry. No, I am so. What's your name? What is your name?
My name is Mandy.
Mandy, I just want to say, I get it. I used to work in food service, and my children are a bunch of Fernando the Jackals. Okay, but we're gonna be real go up and played here. Okay.
I want tots.
Okay, we're at Taco Bell.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
we
I
don't
want
have tots.
nachos.
Sounds
Okay,
like you
you-
got a little one in the back. We do have a Forest Elf.
Try 6 of them.
Okay.
Have I ever heard of
Shiny
birth control?
8-bit
No.
boo.
Okay.
Shiny 8-bit boo.
Okay.
Oh, they've heard about the Halloween special. Okay, we do have the Halloween kids meal.
Great. You know what? We're just gonna take. You know what? I'm gonna get 6 Halloween kids meals. Okay. You may think I'm nuts, but that's why I'll get the same thing.
Hey, wait, do
Well-
they come with nachos?
And tots.
Okay. I'm sorry to ask this,
Listen,
Mandy,
lady,
but do
this
they
is-
come with nachos?
They do come with nachos. You do have to pay an extra 50 cents, and I'm just a
Okay,
student
right.
at Grim. Okay, I'm not here to work overtime. If we could
Oh
just
my
get your order
gosh, Grim alumni over here. I'm also a student of Grim. I'm very happy to
Wow.
meet you. Listen, I know this is crazy,
Oh.
but is there a way for you to do something and make it feel like it's tots? So this one will just get off my butt about it because
in. Yeah, we
every
can,
restaurant we go to, he wants tots.
We can mash up some tacos into kind of like a ball and then
Taco
fry
tots.
it.
Taco tots.
Honestly,
Um,
excellent. And truly, he's my least favorite. He's an expendable crewman, if you ask me, but
Change
gotta
my
do what he
mind. I want
wants.
taco tots now.
Okay,
Yeah,
listen.
tots.
Okay, we're gonna do 6 taco tots, and that's what we're getting, and then a very large, whatever your most caffeinated beverages for me.
This is just
Mom
more.
is the best. Mom is the best.
This is just Morgan talking. I would actually like to try some taco tots. Can somebody get on that?
Mandy,
Not food grade.
listen, Mandy, listen to me and hear this over the intercom. However, that is, I know you're a student of Grimm, but you get that master's degree afterwards, okay? Because listen, my degree did not get me very far. I'm in this van with 6 children that I love, but also God save me.
I was actually thinking I might just kind of like not do the whole college thing and just like get like a handy job, you know, like just be a tradesman. I feel like you need to like buck the system and just like be an electrician or a plumber, just like make a good wage, you know? Not
Mandy,
worry about
I
the
am
white
so
collar
sorry to
job.
interrupt you, but one of my children has just gone to the bathroom in the car, and I am going to have to go take
in the
care.
car.
I blame the nachos.
You haven't even gotten them yet.
It's not good.
We'll be right up. What's the total?
That'll be $47.89.
Right,
Hey.
children is
Yeah.
expensive.
Upcharging for the taco tots.
Well
We
done,
can make them
ladies.
artisanal tots.
I'm gonna go leave and go to Taco Bell now. I'm hungry.
It's delicious. Thank you for that. Thank you for all of our wonderful patrons at such a high level. We are
Yes.
grateful to you. Thank you to each and every person that donated tonight. It's just extraordinary, just unbelievable. We are grateful. If you want to check out the Patreon, it's patreon.com/thedungeonrun. Lots of cool stuff to be further ingrained in the show, in the world of the show, and hang out with us.
Lots of
And
cool
we-
merch.
Yeah, cool merch. And also keep an eye out, possibly this week, the debut of Arcane Artistry, which is going to be really, really cool.
Yes, so excited.
Woo,
All
there
right.
it is
Oh, there
again.
it is.
Okay, folks, thank you for being here. We'll see you next week. Until then, humankind.
Both.
Mwah.
Mwah.
Great,
I wanna-
Kirk. It started. It started. It started. Started. As a simple dungeon run. As a simple dungeon run.